Hello, everyone, and welcome to Carrot and Booze. My name's Nick, and I'm joined by Gary and Micky. Familiar faces. No John tonight. Oh, John, Micky's with his cuppa. There almost was no show tonight. I went for a dog walk earlier on, and I fell asleep when I got back. My missus woke me up about 7 minutes ago. I've had to do the. Anyway, you don't need to know that, but there almost was no show because of me.
Tell them what happened when you went for the dog walk. Don't leave that bit out.
I trod in shit as well, so I had a bit of a tantrum when I got back. That's what kind of stressed me out, you know. And
was it a big pile? Was it a big pile?
Yeah. And look, I've seen the comments in the comment thread as well. Listen, I have heard that there is a rather small and insignificant channel that's been kind of out there, sort of digging shit on the massive booze again. But look, listen. Don't worry about it. I don't care. I will search it up and try and find them later on and go and give them a little look. But they're a little bit obsessed. They are.
I think you got a stalker. I think you got a couple of stalkers.
They are a little bit obsessed. But anyway, yeah. So we'll leave them to it anyway. Bless them. Do you know what I'm saying? How are you, Micky?
Let's get comfortable.
Yeah. How are you, Micky?
Yeah, I'm cushy. Nice.
Yeah. No. That's good, mate. You had a good day, better day than me?
Yeah, I think so. I was just normal Sunday, really. Sorted out my car, had a roast and a bit of rhubarb crumble and custard. It was lovely.
What do you have?
Beef? Very nice.
Do you have beef?
No, chicken it was.
Chicken, yeah.
Yeah.
No, nice.
Chicken
on a Sunday roast.
Always.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, it's fine. Chicken's good. Chicken can be good. Yeah.
I always go for a bit of lamb, bit of beef.
Yeah,
that's my favourite bit of lamb. I love a bit of lamb.
Like lamb. Yeah.
How about you, Gary?
Look, it turned out to be a good day in the end because we won. But there was a time there when I didn't think it was going to be a good day. I went over to the game. It was freezing. But last 20 minutes, half hour was quite good. So I'm happy.
Yeah. No, listen, it's a good result. It is a very good result in the end. I said that. It's one of those. It's what I kind of put it as best I could earlier on. I said when you do get a result lately, particularly in the Premier League, you're left feeling more with a feeling of relief than elation. Do you know what I mean? I think you get that. You get that feeling.
That was the feeling when that goal went in. You're thinking, thank God, right? It was just, there was a lot of elation over there because we just fought for a time in the second half. We thought it was going to go all tits up. You've seen the fixtures in December. That would have meant that Burnley away would have turned into a fucking 6-pointer. You know what I mean?
But also you have to bear in mind this was a must-win. David Moyes had to win that game, especially as one of his prospective replacements, Will Still, was up in the press box. As we heard from. Oh yeah. We'll go into this in a little bit. Russ Budden on the West Ham Network, a very good channel. Go and check them out.
Can I just say something? Something? Right. As of today, there are 188 days of David Moyes left.
26 games, 26 Premier League games.
188 days. Next week, 180. Well, 81 days next week. Yeah. So we're going to count this down. On every Sunday night show until he goes. Yeah,
I am.
A painstakingly counted days.
In the kitchen, I'm marking it up.
Unless next year is a leap year, in which case it'll be 189 days. I'll have to check that.
But anyway, Gary, the story was Russ Budden. As you know, he works at the club, so he gets to go back of house. Yeah. And in the press box, he saw Will Still after the game, just sat there on his own. So he went over, sat down to him. Will Still was telling him what a wanker Moyes is. Russ Budden agreed. And for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they both walked out together, walked down the gantry, but you go past the director's box. He said, but I left on my own. He said, Will Still didn't go past the director's lounge, so he went in to see. Well, can only assume, Tim. You can only assume these things, can't you? You know, and he was out sort of waxing lyrical last week when he was giving a bit of an interview. He proper threw his hat in the ring. So there you go. It's just an open. I mean, that is actually quite ruthless, isn't it? Getting a manager that's openly linked with West Ham down.
Listen, I think it's fine. Moyes knows the score now. He's been told the score. Right. He's going in the summer. He's going. Tim's going to choose his replacement. He knows writing's on the wall. That's why he's gone out his way to shit talk the youth team this week. Right? Did you see that article that what's his name? Whetstone posted?
Yeah, about Obama.
With all the, it was about the whole youth team. He's basically saying Mabama won't sign a contract, so therefore, fuck him, basically. And then he was saying some of these young kids are a bit up themselves, aren't they? Fucking being all good.
But he can't release it. A man that's been here 3.5 years has never given a pathway for any youth player through to the first team. Can't be making statements like that.
For fuck's sake, Tony.
It can't be.
189 days until the end of Moyes.
It's still a lot of days, though, isn't it? It's a lot of days still.
Yeah.
But it'll soon go. It will soon go. I mean, look, we've got a 2-week international break now, haven't we? So that's 14 days gone. You know?
Yeah.
I hate international breaks. I hate them.
I don't. Do you know what? I don't mind them.
So many of them. They're every couple of weeks.
Yeah, I don't mind them. But yeah, no. What it is with obviously I've done my review earlier on, and I've said this before. If that had been the game earlier, if that had been one of the, do you know, Brighton Gate, where I got fucking clipped of being a miserable cunt watching the game. But that would have been one of them because it was like throughout the first half, apathy sort of sets in with me. When I'm watching on TV, not when I'm at the game. When I'm at the game, it's different. But when I'm watching on TV, I kind of just get fucking, it just sucks it out of me. And then come the second half, I had no emotion left. So even when the goals were going in, even when they went 2-1 up, I was just like, meh. but it's just how I felt. I mean, it was a dramatic way to get the winner in the end. It was good to get a late winner that way. Yeah,
I would have thought if you were watching it on telly, it was a great game for the neutral.
I don't know about that. Maybe
not the first half. The first
maybe
half
the last 20 minutes.
But it was an exciting end, wasn't it? Yeah. I mean, it had everything. It had it in the bar. Soucek hit the bar, didn't he? And then the keeper made a miracle save, didn't he? Off Soucek.
But the thing is, right? It ain't that I'm not people. I'll probably come across as entitled. Oh, would you want this? Listen, if that was a one-off, if we was just to sort of scrape and win at home to Nottingham Forest and it was bad football and that was a one-off, that's fine. But it's not. It's people say, "What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?" But the fact is, it's literally the same. You know, it's like Olympiacos midweek. We won. We got the job done. He had to throw the kitchen sink at this one. Nottingham Forest did regress, which allowed us to basically just keep on piling on. That's why we went 4-4-2 at the end, because Nottingham Forest were no longer posing us a threat. They were just trying to hold what they had. We had to do it. We had to push for it. He needed that win. You know, the next time you'll see him throw a kitchen sink at a game like that will be on his next must-win game at some point this season. It will be.
By the way, John, what happens if he doesn't go? Well, unless he squats, he's going. I mean, he's out of there. He's gone. Off. John. Timmy's plotting the next chapter.
Yeah,
make a special countdown clock. Yeah,
I'm going to make a special countdown.
Every show will have a countdown clock now, right?
Yeah, or a countdown clock, whatever. Yeah,
Spider from Corrie was there too. What is he in the managerial race? I don't know.
No, assistant manager.
Yeah. How many times? Hold on, I'm reading the comments. How many times has a game saved Moyes before an international break? More than we can remember. But we predicted a win today. We predicted a win against Olympiacos on Thursday. Right? They were both tight. You
can't not predict a win against Nottingham Forest at home. I know they got a result against Villa last week, but they're 15th in the fucking league. You know,
we knew Moyes would win. We knew Moyes would win today. I mean, it was worrying if he didn't, because we would have. You know, as much like I said last week, as much as people say you're too good to go down. I hate that saying, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, once you get dragged into that, as we saw with that team of young superstars that we had all those years ago, once you get dragged into it, a different mindset sets in, right? And so let's not get dragged into it, eh? So yeah, I'm delighted with the win today. Absolutely delighted.
Yes. Matt Crawley, he calls us the Brothers Grimm. Matt Crawley.
I got called.
How very dare you? Dare you?
Rob Beckett's brother.
Rob Beckett.
Rob Beckett's brother.
The safe man. Yeah.
Your teeth ain't as big as Rob Beckett's, though. That's enormous.
No, I thought that was a Libby, but good. I like
apple for a letterbox sort of thing.
He could eat an apple for a fucking letterbox. No problem whatsoever. Right, I'm just trying to sort out. Anyway, Gary, Micky, go on. Do you want to go through? I've got to sort out the player rating screen. Do you want to just have a little chat about the game before we go into the player ratings? Because I struggled to talk about it for 7 minutes earlier on.
All right, I'll talk about the view from in the ground. Did you watch it on television? Oh, you was at home, weren't you, Micky?
I was, mate.
Yeah. So So look, it was one of those things where it was freezing. Walked down the canal. At least I could park in here today, which was good. Occupied one of their electrical
Tell everyone
bays.
where we park.
Electrical charging bays, even though I don't have an electric car, which is highly illegal. Right. So anyway, it was flat. It was flat. The first half was very, very flat. But, 2-3 minutes in, they make a fuck up at the back and present Paqueta with a half chance, really. And he slots it home beautifully in the far corner. He don't need a second invitation with that sort of thing, does he? Absolutely brilliant take. Massive mistake from him. With Forest, they're a so-called low block team. Apparently, they low blocked, according to some experts, they low blocked Aston Villa off the pitch last week. Well, they can't defend. So I don't know how they can play that low block successfully, as we saw in the second half when they adopted the low block again, right? Basically, we went in, that goal just before half time just took the wind out of our sails. We thought we were cruising it. I kind of liked the way the team were playing. It looked comfortable, right? The team were playing quite high up the pitch. Alvarez was quite high up. In fact, most of the time when we got forward, only Aguerd and Zuma were back, right? And I thought, this just looks comfy. And then before you know it, they go and nick an equaliser just before half time. And Dan Emerson's side, both goals came down Emerson's side, by the way, which is unusual for Emerson, but he did have a bit of an off game. I think the second half, as soon as we came out, we looked lackluster as we usually do, and they went 2-1 up, and I thought, fucking hell, I've gone from feeling comfortable to feeling like they're just going to walk it,
But I know you said you felt comfortable, but didn't you just, because I didn't see the opening goal. I got back 10 minutes.
It was just totally unexciting.
Yeah, but what I mean is, what I mean is, we scored that goal, and when I saw it going after 3 minutes, I kind of went, I was like, oh fuck, we're going to try. This is going to be shit for the rest of this half. Now I know it is, because I know we're like when we score early. And it was, we just kind of did nothing for the rest of that half. Nothing.
Yeah. I know. It was really dull. We were passing sideways. And then when we went 2-1 down, the sort of relatively early goal in the second half, then Forest just made a decision instantly to sit back and try to waste time. You remember I mentioned, I don't know if you remember, but I went to Forest last year, and it was the most classic case of time wasting I've ever seen. So I really feared this, because they were doing things like a player would go down injured, apparently.
That's why I manage it, don't they?
Yeah, he'd go down injured, apparently injured. He would get to his feet, and then he'd walk a few paces. He'd go down injured again. Right?
Yeah.
That's the kind of extreme fucking hardcore time wasting they were doing last year. They didn't do it to that extent, because I think minutes get added on in the end if you do it now. You're supposed to anyway. And and so they tried, though. They tried to sit deep. And when we started going at them in numbers, the back line just looked nervous as fuck. They started booting it out to the nearest possible touchline. They were just, when a defense is panicking, when they actually lash the ball out, right? Doing that constantly just to get rid of us, and they carried on. They got deeper and deeper and deeper. I think Soucek had the first great chance. I think, first of all, we equalised, didn't we? So Bowen, again from a corner, the smallest bloke on the pitch, has a free header, right? One of the smallest blokes on the pitch.
He had about 86 attempts today, James Will-Press. So we had a lot of corners.
I'll tell you what, though, his delivery was very good today. It weren't just the ones that we scored from, the two that we scored from. His deliveries were very, very good.
There was a good one from a free kick as well, which we should have probably done more from. Really,
and I think Soucek one when he with a header.
I don't know whether him and Bowen worked that one on the training pitch, but Bowen seemed to appear from nowhere, and it was a lovely header, wasn't it? Lovely header into the far corner, a great goal.
I don't think there's much that we do, Gary, that comes from the training pitch. I'm not sure about that.
And we do set pieces on the training pitch. I'm sure about that. Yeah, I think that's all we do, that and defending. And then once it was 2-2, you thought, well, it could happen, right? And then Soucek had that, that chance where we nipped in and hit it against the bar. Could have been a goal. And then there was that fucking blinding save from the keeper, from Soucek again, right? Yeah. And at the end, probably the hardest chance of the three. He's gone for the lowest ever header and put it into the corner. It was a great header, wasn't it? Great header, great cross, great header, really good finish. And I'll tell you what, I must admit, I was having a go at Moyes taking Alvarez off. I couldn't believe that, because Alvarez had done nothing wrong. But what he did with Soucek is he did actually go for it. He put Soucek as an additional front player, right? Didn't he? He put him as an additional front player.
Yeah, he did.
And,
he was like number 10 again.
Yeah, but he was right forward, and so you used to someone like that, you know, inside the box, and he's going to get his head on things. But we never really play like that. We never chase games like that.
He threw the kitchen sink of it. You could see he needed to win that game.
Yeah. So, Mickey, what did you think?
He did.
Well, I'm glad you sort of said what you just said, like how you analysed that, because I've learned something today, right?
Yeah. So
I've learned that after the game, not to look at certain other channels.
Yeah.
Before for their match. No, to tell you why, right? Because I was listening to their preview and I'm thinking
for satire reasons, it's good.
Well, it is, yeah. But I was sitting there thinking, did I watch the same game? Like, have I got it wrong? Like, did I see not happen? But how you've just analysed that, girl, is exactly how I saw it. Exactly. Like, I couldn't even hardly add anything you've said.
Yeah.
I will say probably like in terms of a post match. I mean. Yeah. Look, I'm not always the same, but with certain games like that, like I really struggle to get myself up for the review. But I think if you're ever looking for a real good balanced post-match review, irrespective of how the game's gone, probably JWP chat is good.
Yeah, no, he's very good. He's very good.
Oh yeah, I wasn't talking about that one, but you know,
I know the one you're talking about.
There's certain ones that you just think. Like, I know everyone's got different opinions. I understand that, but it's so far different. You're like.
Yeah.
Did I just watch that game? Did we just watch the same game? I don't.
The thing is, Mickey, when you're at the ground, Nick's right about this. When you're at the ground, there's certain things you don't see that you see on telly, right? Yeah. And this is a prime example. The first goal, Kudus got robbed of the ball after Soucek fell over. No chance I'm seeing that, right? Anything that happens down the far end, I've got to be lucky to see it because I'm usually, if we score, I'm usually celebrating and don't get time to watch the fucking replay, right?
Yeah.
So there was that, and there was also that breakaway in the first half, the one and only time that Kudus was kind of hugging, because every time we defended in the first half, even Kudus went deep, right? He should have been the outlet further up so that we could play a ball into him and he could get away, get on his toes, right? Has
Kudus been Moyes yet?
Well, what he's doing, Nick, he ain't been Moyes, but what he's doing is he's doing the Bowen role, and you know that Bowen, when he has to protect Soucek, he spends half his time protecting Soucek and not very much time going forward. That is what Kudus did today.
Soucek got man of the match in the stadium.
Oh God, he was poor today. I don't know.
That's got to be for Banter, isn't it? I don't know what.
I don't know whether the Czech Board of Trade were in there or something like that, and they wanted one of their boys.
They're trying to sell a box, aren't they? They're trying to sell a box to someone.
I reckon Paqueta lumped on a sum for him to get man of the match, and he's told
Right. Oh, Luke's here.
Hey.
Hello, Luke.
Hello, Luke. We got a very chipper Luke, especially because he's little man crush. Will Still, we were seen at the stadium today. You're happy, aren't you?
That's
look at his smiling face. Look at his smiling face.
Guy Ladouche, great, love that name. Thank you very much, mate. We're going to talk about that now.
Yeah.
Go on, Luke.
No, I was just surprised as I think anyone. To be fair, it's quite strange because I think I've ever since when we signed Bowen a few years back. I really liked Bowen before we even were linked with him in the first place. I thought I'd love to be into West Ham, and then he come, and then ever since then it's been like a cascading thing of anyone that I've tended to like in football or be linked with as a footballer or whatever, they've ended up coming to West Ham, and for ages of now since I found out about Will Still, especially since being a West Ham fan, I've looked into him going, I'd love to be a West Ham manager one day, and obviously at the ground today, and I'm like. This is too real now. This is madness. This is.
Why can't you love Pep Guardiola, Luke?
Because he wants too much money, didn't he? He wants to work millions of Arab money. You know, he just I ain't got time for that, mate. You work with your sticks and balls, mate, and you crack on with that. But,
I must admit there is something to be said with Will Still, because when you look at the profile of managers. Tim Starton has appointed in the past. Most recently, Xabi Alonso. Although others would have you believe differently, right? But Xabi Alonso, who was a director of football at Leverkusen, did identify and bring in Xabi Alonso, who at the time, although he's a household name, was a nobody in the management scene. He was Real Sociedad B. He likes people that are full of ideas, enthusiastic. I'll tell you what, people that are ambitious and on the way up, as opposed to people at the top and probably on the way down. I think that's kind of the mold that Tim Starton is looking for.
I think I've taken I've taken an interest in Reims. If I you say that the club's name,
yeah. How are they doing this year? That's what I was going to ask.
They're fourth or fifth, I think, in the league. They're not doing too. But the interesting thing is, and I will admit this.
Yeah, but they're a nothing team, Gary. They're a
nothing.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying. That's a massive achievement.
I watched a few games of them last season. I'll be honest, I didn't see anything that when they were playing, it wasn't as if I thought they play a really good style of football here. Like you could say a million times. It was like, I don't know. I haven't got.
They pressed like fucking wild dogs.
There was pressing there when you got to, but it wasn't like you looked at them and you thought to yourself, they play like a really direct style of play. They're really exciting to watch. There wasn't really that from them. But what impressed me about Will Steele is the fact that his managerial career has been literally clubs going, can you caretake this club? For 6 months. Can you do this? Can you do that? And then he steps back, going, do you know what? I'm not ready for this now. I want to learn some more. And then he's gone to another club, and they've gone, right, can you help us out? It'd be like the way we've got Moyes in twice.
Yeah.
The first time around to save us, and then go, right, well, can you do it again? And then basically, the more he's gone on, the more he's learning. He's thinking, I haven't got my badges yet. I'm still badgeless, basically coaching wise. He's got some more now. But I just like the fact that he was put in charge, not because they had any particular hope that he would be able to do well, but they just went, look, can you do this for a little while? And he'd do it and he'd smash it. And I think there was a part of him that just held himself back as a coach because he wasn't ready to take the jump. And now with Reims, he, the last couple of seasons he's pulled up a few trees. I'm not saying he's the best manager in the world, and he'll be an overnight success. But what I'm saying is that from what he's got as a manager. When you got, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard, they're badges galore.
I think I know everyone's.
Has he done his badges yet? Has he done his badges?
Yeah.
Apparently, he's a UEFA.
Yeah, no, he's done the badges that he needs to do now. He's waiting for his celebration. But
look, he's an exciting manager, Luke.
Mate, he is. He's got full of, and you know what? He don't play the same way every week. He's very, very analytical. He's not a lazy fucker that has a one size fits all. And what I will say is, I know we won a trophy. I know we did, but if you look at it over the past 2 years in the league, but if you look at it over the past 2 years in the league, Moyes hasn't set a really high bar for someone to come in and do better in the league. He hasn't, not for the last 2 years.
I was worried.
Can I just say that one of the most exciting things about him is if you look on YouTube, there's videos of him talking to his players at the training session.
Yeah,
he's fluent in a number of languages. And the funniest thing is that I think there's one bit where he goes from Sunday league manager to fluent French Arsene Wenger because he's talking to the players and he needs to connect with them all. And he's going, je ne sais quoi, wherever he does French, and he goes, fucking 3 points on Saturday, boys. Come on, sort yourselves out.
I'll tell you what, that's the sign of massive intelligence, though, to be able to pick up languages like that. I mean, to pick up any languages, but to be so fluent in them like that, that's amazing. That's amazing. Barney, we're not giving free publicity to that silly channel. No. What are you saying, Nick? What are you saying?
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. No. Honestly, I wouldn't want to do it to you. So, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so obviously, Luke, were you at the game today?
I was at the game. Yes.
You was. What were your thoughts of the game overall in terms of, Well, a very brief summary.
It was frustrating.
I know you don't do brief, but go on. Very brief summary.
No, I don't. But I'm going to try and make it brief. A very frustrating game, and I'm a little bit like. I don't know. I'm a bit of a petulant child in a way, I think, because when they went 2-1 down, I was so gutted and so deflated. Yeah. I couldn't really enjoy the fact that we were pushing on in the last 10, 15 minutes trying to get a goal. I celebrate the goals. I'm glad we won the game. Ward-Prowse, that's why he bought him, because he knows he's good at set pieces. And
set piece FC.
We scored 2 goals out of that. We won the game. It was fantastic. I just couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't. There's something about it with the way we play football, and I know not every game's easy. You can't win every game playing good football. And I get that. I totally understand that. But I just found it frustrating, and I found it frustrating all the time. And it's just the way we play football.
But that's how I felt, and that's what I was trying to relay earlier on. I mean, you do feel pressure sometimes, especially me, because I've been criticised before for that sort of thing. You feel pressure sometimes to maybe come on and maybe manufacture a bit of like over the top happiness, but I don't do it. I always kind of say how I feel. I did feel quite apathetic in the second half of that game. I did.
You accused me of being giddy. And John. You accused us both of being giddy with happiness.
I didn't accuse you. We was debating on the WhatsApp group. I said, well, you can go on and be giddy about the performance, and I'll do my bit.
Well, I'm not giddy about it. It was what it was, right? We scraped to win. Brilliant. I'm really happy because we scraped to fucking win. I didn't want to go. No matter how unlikely it is, I don't want to be in a relegation. Even a perceived relegation battle, right?
I was left feeling, like I said earlier on, it's a sense of relief that you win, and I'm happy that we're back in the top half. I'm happy that we're top of our European group. I'm happy that we've won. But the football, like I said earlier, I wouldn't. I put it this way: it's one of those games where if I could, if I hadn't have watched that game, I wouldn't have really missed anything at all.
Well,
I'd have probably done something more constructive with my life.
This one here, Luke. Sorry, Luke, can I just ask, right? Yeah. Because Will Steele, it's funny he got mentioned today because I was wondering about him the other day. I saw him mentioned somewhere and I thought, we ain't heard about him since last season. No. I thought, I wonder if he's a flash in the pan, and he clearly ain't, right? I think Eastside, what you got to say, lack of experience. Well, lack of experience in the Premier League, but so is any manager that's bought from overseas.
And Postecoglou. People were saying the same thing about Ange Postecoglou.
Right? You're going down the Moyes route if you're insisting on Premier League experience, right? That is what you're doing. So don't allow yourself down that route, Eastside.
And Eastside is another thing, right?
Yeah.
Listen, I would take fucking, I don't know, Will Young. I think Mikey B said it.
He did say that.
Yeah. Will Young.
I would say Will Young at the moment. It would be honestly. I think any of us on this panel could grab that team that we've got there and put out equal, if not better, performances than what we're seeing at the moment. And I mean that as well. I do mean it, Luke. I do. Yeah, there isn't much coaching that goes on there. You can see it when people come out and they say, well, he's put out the best team now, so So do you have any concept of how football works? A football style is fucking coached. It's coached on a training field. That's what they do. You don't just throw players out there and go, go, make it happen.
You can't say that because apparently it's all down to the players. Like Moyes didn't tell him to pass like that. No bollocks.
The difference between an attacking formation and a defending formation with Moyes is to slap a couple of flair players in.
Yeah,
that's it.
And ask him to defend, Gary.
Yeah,
slap the flair players in and ask him to defend.
And I've got to say, Bowen, he ain't got the upper body strength to play against big defenders.
Been saying it for ages.
Kudus has late in the game. One of the the giant, Luke, the giant centre half, right? He's fucking enormous. I called him the giant in the game, right? He tried to knock Kudus off the ball late in the game. Didn't do it. Didn't do it.
I don't know if you boys agree with me, right? It seems to be that this is the conundrum we got with Antonio, right?
Yeah.
The games he starts, he shouldn't start.
Yeah.
And the games he doesn't start, he should start.
Yes.
It seems to be that he seems to get in these games, and after about 60 minutes, you're thinking Antonio coming on now would probably give him something to think about, something to worry about, just to knock him about.
Irons for Life says, Nick, what would your tactics be in lineup if you was manager? Now, look, listen, the first thing that I would do, which is what amazes me with David Moyes, and it's what all fucking good managers do in the Premier League, because they're not all master coaches and stuff like that. David Moyes likes to do it all himself. You've seen it on West Ham fucking YouTube. He feeds the balls in one-on-ones. That's what he does. But what I'm saying is what I would do, I would decide on the fucking style of football that I want to play, and I would go out and I would hire the very fucking best coaches that I could get to coach that style. And that is what we would fucking coach. It would be drilled into that team every single day. That is what I would do.
I would more focus on the difference in mentality for me would be I would focus on us being good rather than focusing on trying to stop the opposition. Right?
Yeah.
And we've got the players to be good. That's the difference between us and Forest, right? They've got one or two smatterings of good players. We've actually got a very, very good team. Very high quality players, players that they can't afford at the moment, sadly. Their manager as well is a dipshit, isn't he? Because I mean, I mean, what he did there, he basically conceded that game. He did a
Moyes. He did a
2-1 up, sat back, got everybody behind the ball, and they can't defend to save their lives. I just don't know how Aston Villa, they must have been brilliant on the break or got a several goal lead or something like that last week. Because
everyone has an off day, don't they?
Yeah. But that was, and after the game, in his interview, he said, well, I would have been disappointed with a draw, to be honest. I thought we should have won. I thought, what game are you fucking watching? Yeah,
I think Nottingham Forest a bit. Maybe I don't think we totally deserved to win based on the fact that we couldn't score from open play.
A draw would have been fair. A draw would have been fair. Yeah,
we got the set piece goals, and that's what won us the game. Those sort of things. But
yeah,
I don't know who was the Nottingham Forest right back.
Oh, fuck knows, mate.
I know Elanga was left back, but the right back for Nottingham Forest I really liked. I've got to be honest with you. I think the first half he had us on toast a little bit, and I thought it was a brilliant player. Just
very good.
You catch them players, don't you?
That's the 21, isn't it? The number 21.
The Forest manager always looks stoned.
Who's the one? Who's the one that was running? Number 21 was up against Soufal, and he was having him on toast every time.
I'm on about the actual right back for
right.
Aina. I think Ola Aina.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian P just said it there. Aina.
I was on
the advert. I own this.
I was on the tube on the way back, and there was a couple of Nottingham Forest fans behind me talking, and they sounded like the sort of fans that look at the sort of bigger picture, if you get what I mean. Like
they
only a few flaws, but they wanted Cooper to stay because of where they've come from, and they were going to be relegated, and he come in and got promoted. And I totally understand that, because I don't think Nottingham Forest is that bad a team. Actually, I think when I've seen them, I don't think they play that bad of football.
No.
I'd agree with you at home. They're different away, though, aren't they?
I'll give you that.
Really well.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Heitinger has been removed from the dugout. Apparently, was he on there? You watched it on
No. So in the last game, what was the last game? The last Premier League. In the last Premier League game, Everton.
Brentford away.
Oh, Brentford. Yeah, Brentford away. So in that game, right? Because we know that there was rumours that. We know that basically Tim started to take Moyes in hand and said changes on the pitch, or there's going to be a change in the dugout. And it did change. It did change, and then the rumours came out, and then the rumours came out that Heitinger was key in the preparation for that game. If you watch, there's clips of it. If you watch the Brentford game, because he's been kind of he's been in council with Heitinger the whole way through this season. Well, from the Brentford game onwards, Moyes didn't talk to Heitinger. He was talking to McKinley.
That's brilliant. That's amazing.
So obviously starting, So obviously there's been a bit of a breakdown there now.
I would consider Gary O'Neill, Joe. Yes, I would, because I think he's a great little manager. He's a little manager as well. He's quite vertically challenged.
I'm happy he's doing well at Wolves, because I think he's unfairly treated by Bournemouth.
What's a goal? The equaliser for Spurs yesterday. Fucking hell, what a beauty that was.
I'm going to ask a question in the chat. Hang on.
It's interesting.
Moyes out now. Will still in? Yes or no? And this ain't the summer. This is now. Yeah. This is now. So after the international break, right? Would it be yes or no? Be interested to see what
this is a funny thing, Alan. Moyes saved again, Nick. I think the team will watch the show, win just to piss you off. Yeah. Listen, none of us want to see fucking West Ham lose. You want to see West Ham win.
I don't even answer. I don't even answer.
It's a bit naive, isn't it? Yeah. I'm not going to read out any more nonsense. I'm going because I'm on comments tonight. We won't be before he surrendered. They did surrender. But James Ward-Prowse's deliveries were very, very good today. I have to say that.
Well, it's going back to like our side of game sort of thing. Sorry, but I thought we played all right. And then once we scored that goal, we tried to just play it back and sideways to try and kill the game off, if you like. It got boring. Like, it was so like nodding off. But then we got what we deserved, and they scored 2 goals. I genuinely believe that. And that's when it was like a kick up the arse for us, because as soon as that happened, it didn't take long to equalise, but that was a rush. Then we needed to have more sort of energy and urgency about us, and we did.
Yeah.
But it should have been like that. We shouldn't have done that. Once we went up, we should have still been pressing.
That's because we was 2-1 down, and David Moyes needed to win the game. And
I agree with you.
And not in the first regress. So we threw the kitchen sink at it.
But that's how we should have been anyway. That's what I'm saying to you.
We could have been
1-0 up, and we just thought, we're cruises.
In that first half, when we was 1-0 up, Nottingham Forest started to kind of commit themselves because they were chasing the equaliser. They was leaving gaps everywhere. If we'd have just been a little bit braver, we could have easily probably got that game almost wrapped up in the first half.
Listen, I've got an observation which I'm going to steal. I'm going to plagiarise from Gio on Hammers Chat, because me and Ross always watch that Hammers Chat show on the way back from the game in the car, right? I don't watch it. I'm driving, right? But I listen to it. And he said about the set pieces, and this is exactly, I've been trying to articulate it this way, so he helped me out a little bit here, and that is, set pieces are great. You shouldn't depend on them because they're a lottery.
Yeah. But that is by design our way. I mean, if we do score goals otherwise, great. But you can tell that our attacking impetus, our kind of by design, it's win free kicks, win corners, keep Soucek on the pitch, 4 fucking corners. Because I'm not being funny, it worked today. I said it in the first half. James Ward-Prowse had a good game today on the ball, but James Ward-Prowse and Soucek are shit defensively. They offer literally next to nothing. I know they both cover a lot of grass, but never anywhere near the ball when we're out of possession. They don't. And that is why when we're playing against better opposition, we'll just get cut through the middle. With those two in the middle, we will get cut through with a better team that have the ball, you know. Nottingham Forest didn't really want the ball today too much. They was a counter-attacking team, weren't they?
I'll tell you what, though, there was just that one little counter-attack that we did in the first half. We just showed you a picture of how it could be, right? And that was, it ended up apparently in a poor, it was Danny having a pitch. I couldn't see the poor pass to Paqueta. It looked like Paqueta fucked it up. But anyway, the breakaway was perfect, right? The breakaway is perfect. Kudus got on his toes, passed it inside to Ward-Prowse, I think. Ward-Prowse found him again outside. I think that's the way it went. But Kudus just got fucking miles in front of the fullback with all the time in the world to cross it. By this time, players are up joining him. Breaking at pace, if you're going to play that way, that is the way it's got to be. Why did we sit so deep and not have Kudus as an outlet like we used to do with Lingard, right? Kudus was deep as well. So he's got fucking twice the amount of work to do.
But it's like we've got probably our best 2 players shunted out wide. So Paqueta and Kudus, they're shunted out wide. And I really don't get it.
Soucek scored though, Nick, so that means he gets another 10 games in the number 10 role.
He was shit in that first half. I mean worse than shit. He was worse than shit in that first half. But I can guarantee you, I ain't even looked on Twitter, but I can guarantee you, because he's popped up and he scored a header on the 88th minute. Now everyone's going, he was amazing.
Moyes told Heisinger today's game was away.
I thought he'd done really well for Nottingham Forest.
Mickey,
Well, I didn't know. There was a comment earlier that said it was Soucek falling over and Kudus got robbed for the first goal. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I think that
No, I wouldn't. He is the one manager I wouldn't swap Moyes for. No way, because I hate his face.
Yeah.
Can't stand looking at him.
He's so gimpy looking. He's a proper gimpy looking geezer, isn't he?
Yeah,
he is.
His eyes always shut. Like that.
Yeah, I know. Someone said earlier he's stoned, doesn't he? He looks like he's stoned.
Yeah. No. It does. He looks like he should have a can of fucking special brew in his hand. That's what he looks like.
Exactly like that.
He does, yeah.
Oh, the save from Areola from the header early in the game.
Yeah, very good.
What a save.
Very good.
Oh, that was like what's it? Not Gordon Banks, Seaman. That's
yeah. What do you reckon? Because I didn't see the replay of their save, but their save looks spectacular. The one from Soucek.
Areola's was better.
Yeah.
Areola was better.
It was quite, although it wasn't a strong header, it was quite central to the keeper, to be fair to you.
He's just pushed up, basically, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Luke will know, wouldn't he? He's De Gea. He knows he's goalkeepers.
Yeah.
we've got David Moyes' brother-in-law, John Murdoch, in the chat, and he said,
sorry, put it up. Go on, put it up.
James JWP was defensively superb Thursday. I am sorry, John, but mate,
there's nothing to defend against on Thursday.
John, mate, come on.
I
do agree with him when on that break that you're talking about, where Kudus broke in the first half. I think he picked the wrong ball. I think he should have passed it out to the right where James Ward-Prowse was. I think that would have been the better.
It was on as well.
Pass.
That pass was on.
Yeah,
that would have been the better pass. It was on. The only thing I would say about that, and it is nitpicking, but Kudus should have put it in just a bit more in front with a little bit more pace with Paqueta.
Yeah.
But
And I'm going to address this as well. Gordon, I'll tell you why. If you know Moyes is leaving, why don't we all get behind him? I'll tell you why, because I don't ever want there to be any fucking inkling of David Sullivan all of a sudden going, oh, look, the ball, look, the fans are all right with David Moyes now. So, no, I will support the club. I will be relieved when we win a game in spite of David Moyes. And I will pray for the day when he does eventually leave. Yeah. So, no, I'm not going to get behind him.
Hawaiian Hammer. Why does it have to be a must-win game to go for it? Well, yeah, it wasn't. It was actually a subset of a must-win game, wasn't it? Where he went for it. It was like last 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah. Right. Let me put the player ratings up. Anyway, 77% of people have voted that they would take Will Still in, which is impressive. It's either that or they're so desperate for Moyes out they'll take anyone. But yeah, Moyes out now, Will Still in. Yeah. Fair enough. There you go. See, Will Still win. I'd be happy. I'd be happy with him.
I'd be delighted because it's a bit of a wild card. And once Stighton's in charge, he's gonna have to hire and fire the manager. It ain't gonna be a fucking defer to the ball decision.
Another thing that's interesting with Will Still is that he doesn't mind being a number 2. He said before he's when he was interviewed, he said he actually likes the fact that he can learn off more experienced managers. I think he said before the job before this job he's got now, I think he requested to be number 2 because he wanted to learn from the guy who went in front of him. Turns out the guy in front of him wasn't even that good, so they got rid of him and put Will Still in charge instead.
Yeah, he's come through an environment where he's always worked in teams, so he'll be well averse to this. And it's quite ironic that David Moyes doesn't like working in a number 2, as he isn't a fucking number 2. You know what I mean? Welcome aboard, Iron Ore.
That's ore, as in that's not iron ore though. It's iron ore.
Where's your fireworks, Nick? For it.
What's that?
Where's your fireworks?
Is that it?
Hey!
Oh, Brian, come on, mate. That's a bit strong, isn't it?
What's that?
I'll take my mum as manager. She's been dead 16 years.
God rest her soul.
God rest her soul.
Couldn't do no worse. I didn't read the last bit. Sorry.
Right, me.
Yeah. Right, Luke. Going to go to you first on the player ratings. Give me some Areola ratage.
I'll give him a 7.
Yeah,
no, so an 8 for that save. For that save and the save from the header. He obviously conceded 2 goals today. He's still, for me, a little bit quiet when it comes to crosses and commanding his area. I thought he
was better today.
I've been better, but he's still not. There was still times when I thought to myself, no, there's too many players going for a header and he's not taking command. Yeah. But overall, conceded 2 goals, but also possibly kept us in the game earlier on. So 8. Solid 8.
I think that's fair. And I'll tell you what, there's one exception to what you just said, and that is right at the end of the game because we go up the back and we're starting to walk out with like 90 seconds to go, right? And he came and took a cross, and he was about 2 foot above everyone. He took it clean.
Gary, you're supposed to be putting comments up.
Oh, sorry, people. Hold on.
Useless. Right.
One thing I'll ask you: do you think I love Areola, but do you think that he actually, when he comes for balls, do you think he calls for it? Because it seems to happen quite a lot that people say there's a miscommunication now. But does he call for it though? Because
no. They reckon Fabianski used to call, but at the wrong time. So I don't know.
He got saved in a month. He got saved in a month. What was that? What save was that?
That was the Everton save, wasn't it?
I've made some stunners this year, hasn't he?
But I am sorry. Like with Fabianski, people talk about Fabianski. He's a great keeper. He ain't the most vocal.
Cheers, Alan.
No,
Fabianski's not the most vocal.
More vocal though.
Yeah, but people say commands his box. You don't come off his fucking line.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
No, we don't. Yeah, we don't do that. No.
Nick, say thank you to Alan.
Alan, thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah. And Mickey, yeah, and you, Luke.
Yeah, pew pew. You can do the sound effects, Mick.
Yeah, pew pew.
He nearly punched the defender's head off his shoulders. Oh yeah, he did take Aguero out, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, that was Soucek. That was a knee to the face, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what wrestling move that was. Boom.
Yeah.
You know what he done? I'll give him a 9 then. Give him man a match.
Right, Vladimir Sufa, I'm going to make this very quick. I don't think it weren't his worst game. He was never in a million years. Not that the bar was very high for man of the match today, but he was never man of the match. I'll give him a 6. I thought he was vanilla today. I think that's the best way I could describe him. I think the whole back line was just average today, to be honest. Micky.
Yeah, Emerson. I like Emerson. I think it was probably one of his worser games. I think that he's had all season. As Gary said, he got beat down that side for the 2 goals. But yeah, he just won. As you said, the back line was
the whole lot. Yeah,
really. So I'd say below average. I'm not going to donkey him, but I'd give him. You give Kufau a 6. So I don't think he was any.
He weren't worse than
him. No, so I'd say a 6 as well. I can't give him a 5 when Kufau's on a 6. No, so a 6 for me.
And notice the correlation when our whole defensive line looks shit. You can go back through the player ratings when you've got Ward-Prowse and Soucek in that 3. The whole back line have a shit show game. It does happen. I'm telling you. Gary, Naif Aguirre.
Aguirre, well, look, in the first half, like I said earlier, I thought he was looking quite comfortable, to be honest. I couldn't see firsthand if he made any serious errors up the other end of the pitch, because it looked to me like Zuma was the worst of the 2 today.
Zuma was worse.
Yeah. So I think Aguirre had a decent game from what I could see. No glaring errors, no mistakes that cost goals, which is what I usually accuse him of. So I'm going to reward him with a 6.
Reward him with a 6.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Right, Luke, Kurt Zuma. Very just go on. I'll let you do it.
5. I don't think he was particularly bad. I don't think particularly good either. I think something that to me, he had his biggest limp game. If you get what I mean, the way he walks, runs, because he genuinely looked. I think about 70 minutes in, I watched him, and how his leg doesn't drop off.
He's definitely a sniper's nightmare today.
Was it a fault for the second goal?
I don't know if I've heard Aguirre wasn't close enough.
Aguirre, if we ever concede and there's a defender at fault, you know it's going to be Aguirre, Gary. So
was it Aguirre or was it Zuma? Because I've heard both.
But I don't get.
Remind me of the second goal.
Elanga.
Oh yeah.
Someone said to me today that apparently it was quite evident that when we were playing it across the back, the Nottingham Forest players were leaving Zuma alone because they knew that he couldn't play a decent ball forward. I think there was a one point where Zuma went forward in the first half, but he pushed forward.
Yeah, he did. Past the halfway line, Luke. Past the halfway line.
And there was no one there. And he started doing Declan Rice. He started shouting at our players, going, "No one's giving me an option. I was giving the option." And it was quite telling that as soon as he got the ball, it was only one thing he was going to do. He was going to try and launch it forward. It's another thing as well. This is just a side note. I don't know about anyone else feels this, but this is. I keep thinking Allardyce football, because all we tend to do is put the ball up top, and I don't understand how everyone hated it under Allardyce, but everyone seems to accept it under Moyes.
I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why? I tell you why? Because we won a trophy. We won a trophy. And what it is, people now think that David Moyes equals trophies. They're basically saying, I'm seeing the same argument now, but you'd take 17th in a trophy, wouldn't you? As if it's guaranteed. I mean, people are saying that. I mean, David Moyes, they're basically banking on us being shit in the league, but winning a trophy. So David Moyes doing what he's only done once in 56 years of management as not being a complete fucking one-off.
Yeah. Zuma, as we know, he barely trains. He does fitness training, but he barely trains. He does no impact training at all, right? No games, no five-a-side matches or anything like that. And he plays 1 game a week maximum. He's broken.
Yeah.
Right, James Ward-Prowse, I'm going to keep it short and sweet for these. I mean, I think it was pretty much the same. Defensively, I thought Ward-Prowse and Soucek was a 3, but his set pieces were on it. His passing was great.
2 assists.
No. His corners were great. I'm going to give him a 7. But like I say, as an all-round midfield performance, it's no coincidence that our backline was shit today. But there you go. So Ward-Prowse 7. Great set pieces. Well done, mate. You take a lovely corner.
Nigel's taking exception to Luke. Total bollocks comparing to BF. Well, look, I think Nigel. I think it's a point, because I was watching it today and little Bowen up front getting barged around in the first half by the centre halves. Couldn't get it, and we were launching long balls trying to get it over the top of the centre half, so as Bowen could run onto it. He really needed a ball into feet, didn't he?
Do you reckon David Moyes showed Jared Bowen videos of Micky playing that role before the game today?
Yeah, you got to be Mickey's today. Today you're going to be Micky.
That's how you got to be.
I've just decided I do like Nigel. I've got a lot of respect for him. So if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong and tell me how I am wrong.
Basically, you're not wrong, but there is no one anywhere in the world as low as Sam Allardyce in Nigel's.
No, Nigel despises him.
It's personal.
It's
personal of Nigel. It is. He chased him around all gate one way system once, didn't he?
He did. Just give him the finger, and he got the finger back, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Sam Allardyce gave him the finger.
Yeah.
Who? What, Nigel?
Nigel gave him the. I think he was chasing him around. I can't forget this. I can't remember the story.
Sam Allardyce was in the back of a cab. Nigel was going one way. He saw him in the back of the cab, so he decided to follow him and said to the cab driver, if I remember rightly, take him to the fucking airport, will you? And apparently Sam Allardyce called him a wanker or something out the window. Something like that anyway. So Nigel's never liked him since. But anyway, no one likes Sam anyway. Sam was awful.
Yeah.
Okay, you want me to check?
Right, now is Nigel in the chat because he's going to love this one.
Go on then.
But let me just quickly say something, sorry, to the people in the chat. Now, usually, I've never asked if I could mark a player up. I've never asked Nick, but I messaged Nick and said, please give me Soucek to mark up. And I'll tell you why. And by looks of it, people ain't going to be happy with this. But I couldn't risk him not getting a donkey. I'm sorry, but I thought he was shocking. That first half, he was an hindrance. In fact, he was better for Forest. He kept on giving the ball away. He was coming out. A little 3-yard pass. It was out for a throw-in. It was shocking. So I'm giving him a 4 to get the donkey.
Can you comment, Mickey? Mickey, can you comment? I saw him miss 2 chances, but I don't think he fucked the chances up. I think one hit the bar and he was stretching for it, and the other one was a good save.
No, but that's why people will think
Gary Soucek as a footballer today, Soucek was shit.
Shocking.
Oh yeah. No.
He could have had an hat trick. Yeah, he could have definitely had an hat trick. Not saying that like he would do. He's not that sort of finisher really, but he's got a 4 from me just because of that goal. It was a good goal and it was a winning goal. But as an all-round performance, shocking. I can't see how he makes us. I know that Eastsiders, Mickey, that's harsh. I understand that, but I was fuming with him. When you do player ratings, you look at the game differently now.
Yeah.
So I was really looking at him, and he was shit.
He was shit, and this has always been my problem with him. And do you know something? I've always said this because I think he's a box crasher. His main threat is being a forward. Now I can accept a forward.
Why not play him as a forward? Play him as a forward.
What I mean is, I can accept. No, he didn't. He was fucking.
In the last 20 minutes, he played him as a forward, or when he bought Antony on.
When we threw everything, no, he didn't. He was part of the 2 in the middle. But but what I'm saying is, with a midfielder can't only have a header to their game, like a box. If he's a striker, I can take it from a striker. If all they do is they touch the ball 3 times in the game and it's inside the box and you're a poacher, that's fine. Not from a midfielder. No way.
Like Steve Garner's got it right there. Steve Garner was saying, look, we're carrying a player every week, and that's how I feel. I feel we're carrying. I think we're playing with. He's like an handicap for us.
And listen, right? He scored today. We was going to. We had 86 fucking James Ward-Prowse corners and freak. That is the only way. Basically, if we had different players in those positions, we'd play in a different way and we'd score in a different way. But we're tying ourselves to this.
I remember this. He had Kudus out on the byline and he passed it to the advertising balls instead, didn't he?
He's so fucking. I'm sorry. I love Soucek as a man. It is horrible. But so is his football ability. His football.
Do you remember when that Swansea player, Renato Sanchez, passed to the advertising board because he thought like one of the figures on there was one of his teammates?
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, that was even a better pass than Soucek done all game, so I can't be having him.
I know.
189 days for Moyes and 189 days until Soucek is no longer in the midfield.
Yeah, exactly. 189 days. Yeah. I prefer to say 26 games, 26 Premier League games.
I gave Soucek man of the match.
I'll tell you one thing that must make you think. Did anyone see, the last international break we had when Soucek set up an assist for his Czech mate and he'd done a sort of like a 1-2 dummy to himself and then set up the assist. there's a part of me that thinks he's got that in his locker. He's been Moyes himself from day one. And really, get a new manager in and takes a look at Soucek and goes, right, I'm going to change this bloke and give him a new position. He might become double the player he is now.
Yeah.
Not with the other player. It depends on the manager that you get in, Luke. If you get in a manager that wants to play a passing game, Soucek ain't in it.
See, this is, I don't know if anyone agrees with this, and I'll probably get laughed at in the comments, right? I've always thought he was potentially playing Soucek as a defender, right? Because he's not got the midfield legs for it. He's a crash and bang wallop. But if you put him a centre back, head the ball out, make it.
I don't think he's a bit too, mind you, Zuma's clumsy, isn't he? Yeah, maybe.
What I'm saying is the way he's always fit, right? He's never injured, unfortunately for us, right? But fundamentally, right?
You're saying repurpose him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Take Zuma out, put him in with Mavropanos or whatever, but heads the ball out, clears it, give him a simple job to do, and say that's it. That's all you got to do. You haven't got to run anywhere. Just keep the line. Have him for corners. Have him for free kicks.
I know people aren't going to like it, but listen, I'll give a four because
you got to say it as you see it.
Yeah,
say it as you see it.
You only got a four because of the winner. Other than that, he wouldn't have got no mark for me.
Right, and as for poor old Alvarez, who basically has to carry these two defensively anyway. Gary, next.
Well, Alvarez, I thought, had a decent game. I've got to be honest. I thought he was doing what he did at the start of the Everton game, which was getting forward and trying to use the ball, trying to get it to the attacking players. He was taking out the pitch. He's, like I said in the first half, we were pushed up to the halfway line most of the time, including him. And he seemed to be the one taking the initiative and carrying the ball. And I quite like that because he looks quite good at it. In addition to that, I think his defensive work was pretty good as well. I didn't blame him for either of the goals. I don't think he was at fault at all. It went down the wings, didn't it? Down Emerson's side mainly. So I don't think that was out of his jurisdiction.
Do you know what else? Because I've heard people talk about Alvarez, and
that was a great tackle as well. Do you remember there was a great tackle by Alvarez?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There was criticism of Alvarez for the Olympiacos game, Gary.
Yeah,
and that was because what it was. We had a similar sort of situation there, but basically Alvarez was driving the ball from deep because we didn't have any passing options. So he was doing what Rice used to do, or trying to, and he was carrying the ball up the field. And I was going, you got to let Ward-Prowse do that, man. You got to let Ward-Prowse do that, man. When have you ever seen?
Is that annoying again?
When have you ever seen Ward-Prowse run with the fucking ball? Yeah, he ain't a ball carrier. He's not. So Alvarez, if there's no options on, he just carried the ball up. That's what he did.
Yeah, I had a chat with my boxer dog about it earlier. He had a more in-depth opinion. Right, 7.
7. Yeah, he went.
I thought he had a good game. He had a good game.
Do you know what? Right,
he does have bollocks as well, big ones.
I've got I'm in a group chat like with my FPL lot and that for the
for Paul.
And some of them, and some of them said that Alvarez is shit, isn't he?
Oh yeah,
I'm getting. No. But listen. Do you know what you're getting now? You know the Moyes in lot.
Yes, now, everyone that's signed is shit.
You listen to him. Alvarez, Kudus, and Mavropanos. They're shit, Mickey. They're shit.
I couldn't believe it when they saying he's shit, and I'm thinking I didn't answer it back because it would have been a back and forth for me trying to defend him.
I know.
These people, what are they going to do? I tell you, when Moyes goes, and we all know he's going at the end of the season, not too soon, 189 days. When he goes, what are they going to say after that? What are they going to pick on to create a sort of division in the fan base? Because they'll have to do something, won't they? Right?
No. It'll be very simple.
It be?
They'll basically, I've said it before. We'll be on a 15-game winning streak, right?
Yeah.
With our new manager, with Will Still. 15 games. We'll be on. We'll be amazing. And then what'll happen is we'll have one game like what Tottenham had the other day where we get 3 players sent off. He shows massive bollocks. He goes for the game. And then do you know what? They'll start tweeting. David Moyes would never have done that.
Yeah. Well, the low block's great, apparently. That's what brings the kids to football, gets them excited. Low block.
Yeah, right. Luke, you can have Bowen.
Can I put a little bit of a Postecoglou agenda in here? A little bit.
Yeah, go on.
Who you want?
It's not an agenda.
I love that. Go on.
Just a comment. I did really like him. Right, I'll be honest with you. I did. I wanted him as our man. I was in the Nick club of Postecoglou fan club. Right.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I must admit, since that Chelsea game, I think he's a bit naive to me. I understand and I admire and I admiration for him for the attacking ethos is, fair play, respect that completely. But little things like when you got 2 players sent off against Chelsea, and fair play, trying to get it win, that game's done. Wolves yesterday, I think when you've got a squad, your main player, a lot of your main players are out, you're winning the game 1-0. That is the time when you do a Moyes, when you try and.
I think they was much deeper in that game, though, Luke.
And
it was.
They might have been, but what I'm saying, he's the anti-Moyes because he will go from it right from the start rather than the last 10 minutes try and get the thing. So he's the anti-Moyes. But there was a part of me that just thought, as much as I like and admire the attacking ethos and wanting to win the game at all costs and will outscore you and stuff like that, there was a part of me that thinks, actually, do you know what? I don't know if I'd have been pissed off or proud.
I think it's quite simple. I think when Postecoglou came in, he didn't factor in Spursy. He didn't. He never considered that.
I was speaking to Luke. Oh, sorry, go on, Gal.
I was speaking to Paul, my cousin, about this today, and I said I'm a bit, because we both like Postecoglou, right? And I was thinking, I was saying that this is really questioning my faith, because you're looking at someone who you really like trying to play attractive football that you really like, but it's for Spurs, and you hope that he fails.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the thing is, let's have it straight. The reason it's fouled, and the reason that the Wolves game was shit, Luke, was because he basically had to put a new team out.
Yeah, it was.
Madders is gone. Their centre back's gone. They had two players on bans, and the reason with the Chelsea game, I don't think that was bollocks, because they were in that situation there where you're losing, you're down to 9 men. You can either decide to sit back and keep it respectable, or you can decide to just go, fuck it. We're going to lose this game anyway. Let's try and get it. They had a goal disallowed that could have gone to 2-2, and then they almost scored again. And it was only until right late on, that Chelsea scored those goals.
And then what are you saying, Luke? Right, you're saying that you don't know if you'd like that, but then they lost 4-1 that game, and at the final whistle, Spurs fans were clapping them, cheering, because they was giving it. They was giving it a go, even with they had no chance really with no defence. But because they've given it a go, the Spurs fans were cheering them. They just lost 4-1, but they had it.
But the good thing is, the Spurs bubble was burst. That's a good thing.
My other point with that was that if we suddenly saw our players like Alvarez or, I don't know, like Kudus or whoever, putting in tackles and being nearly on yellow cards and nearly on red cards and still going for it, how do you think the fans would react? Do you think they'd be going, right, Moyes or Postecoglou needs to calm these players down? Because yes, it's a high passionate game, but you have still got to keep your heads. And if we're going around fighting,
I think new age fans probably not, but old school fans.
I'll be honest. I would take Ange Postecoglou's left bollock over Moyes. I've got to be honest.
Just imagine. Imagine. Go back to that Frankfurt semi-final second leg when we're 2-0 down on aggregate. It's relatively early in the game, and Moyes decides to try and protect the 2-0. Right? Just imagine if we'd have gone for him. If we'd have put another attacker on and gone for it.
I'm not denying any of that. I'm not.
No. I know you're not. I'm just saying it's a different example.
These 2 losses, there's been moments
let's not
more than all the others.
We are talking about Spurs a lot here. So come on, Luke.
Let's not overdo it. Good point, Nigel. Well done. Order.
You beat up Spurs.
Go on, Bowen, Luke.
Sorry, but good goal for the second goal. I have to say, West Ham don't really score goals straight after, apart from the Brentford game last game, but we don't really score goals straight after we conceded. We kind of tend to be a bit deflated. So the fact that he was really good header, really good position, worked his bollocks off all game, considering that he was up against a really huge giant of a defender that he was. I'm not entirely sure he's suited to the striker role for every game. I think he does need to be switched to the wing. Yeah, certain games it can't just be a one size fits all for him as well. It needs to be looked at from going forward. But I thought he ran his socks off. He never stopped running around for the calls. Really good that he got his goal, and so I would say an 8 for me.
I'd agree with that, and I think the second half, Luke, there was a big difference between his performance in the first half and the second half. The first half, he seemed to be just getting pushed around by strikers. Second half, he tended to try to get a little bit more movement and get away from the strikers, and so did Kudus early on as well. Right, that is what they got to do. Him and Kudus have got to have a fluid relationship where they can swap, where they can change over.
Fluid and Moyes. Right, okay. Kudus. I'm going to be very quick on this. I think he's an absolutely magnificent player. I think he's brilliant. I don't think I don't think he's another player that's gonna be kind of conducive to kind of flourish in a Moyes system. He probably would be better as an impact player for Moyes. Playing 90 minutes for the guy with the way that we play isn't going to help him, I don't think, because he spent most of his time tracking back, helping Soucek. He's in the team because we want him to create and score. He didn't come close to doing fucking any of that. So I'm going to make everyone outrageous by this. But I think he's brilliant. But he was below average of what I would expect from Kudus today. So I'm giving him a 5.
I still enjoyed watching him. I would have given him a 6 based on your score.
But for me, he was below average of what I would expect.
His standards, yes.
Yeah.
But you compare him with Soucek, he's a 10.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, but we give Soucek a pass.
It was getting that yellow card again. Once he gets on the yellow card, he sort of backs a little bit. So
yeah.
Was it a valid one? Was it a valid yellow card? Because that
it was a little bit. He was kind of stretching.
Wasn't he fouled prior to him making that challenge? That was what most of the fans in the crowd were shouting at, because he got fouled twice. And then he lost the ball for that last bit.
He got chopped down in the first half early on, right? He got chopped down 3 times in quick succession, and the referee didn't even book the third one, right? It was a habit. They set out to stop him. At one point in the first half, he had 3 men on him.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, Paqueta, Micky.
Quick one now. I love Paqueta, but I didn't think
he was another one, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think that he was a little bit quiet. Some of the passing were just so close to being bang on, but they wasn't. So
yeah,
probably.
And he does fuck around too much when he's not playing well as well.
It does, but then when you watch like the Moyes system, I still kind of like that fucking about, because it still makes you think, "Good boy," do you know what I mean?
Oh
yeah, entertainment, isn't it?
You'll never take it out of his game, but
exactly what it is. It is entertainment, gal. So I'd probably give him. I'd say an average for him. I reckon probably even below average, but I want to give him a 6 because I love the man.
Hang on. There might be an extra point, Micky, if you remember this one little example that I took a lot of joy in, when the ball was running out of play. And he's fucking gone, and not only stops it going out of play, but backhilled it to someone. Do you remember that early in the game? Did you not see it?
Beautiful, that was, yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah.
But
I love that.
But for me, if I was marking Paqueta, it would have been the same as Kudus, but he scored and he got a point for that. So I think a 6 is about right.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Now give him a 6. I will stay with a 6 with that Paqueta.
Okay, Gary, the Ogfather. Ogbonna.
Well, you know, he did what he was put on there to do. He didn't score an own goal.
He don't need to be spoken about too much. Good.
I'll give him a 6.
6. Yeah, he didn't do much. Antonio.
I was only angry 1 week.
Go on, I'll do Antonio then. Do you know what I'm going to do? I am actually. I know this is outrageous. People are going to. I'm Antonio's biggest defender. I'm his biggest defender.
He was shit today.
But he was shit. And you know something?
He looked uninterested.
Hang on. For the first time, he's come out and done a fucking stupid quote before a game. And that was from his podcast, where he's basically come out and said, you know, we're West Ham. You know, we're not we're not worried. What do you expect? What do you expect? We're West Ham. You know, we've got faith in ourselves. Just accepting the fact that we've just lost 4 fucking Premier League games and played shit. I'm sorry, that is a wrong attitude for that, and he is getting a donkey for it. And I'm sorry, mate. Your actions, they're kind of. If you're going to go on these podcasts, mate, and you're going to make yourself look a dick, and then you're not going to back it up with your performances like you did against Liverpool, then it is going to be brought up. And I am sorry, mate. That was you was just shit.
It's looking more and more like, and I don't want to be unfair to the guy. I genuinely don't. But now his form is just nowhere near recovered since the transfer window closed. It's beginning to look deliberate, right? It's beginning to look like he don't give a fuck and he's pushing for a move.
And this guy's wanted to move for 2 windows. And you know something?
He's got a pay rise. Now he's going to get a nice lucrative move.
And you know something? It's David Moyes that you've got to thank for the fact that he's got a new contract.
Yeah.
That's who you got. That's who you got to thank for that.
And was it Liverpool game and the Brighton game? It might not have been Liverpool. I can't think, but his 2 finishing, like his finishing for 2 of them goals was fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you remember them goals? Like right
he
at
was
the
on
start
fire,
of the season.
Mickey. He was on fire.
And then he got that new contract, and he's gone. Oh, I'm going to do the Antonio thing there. I love Antonio, but I'm a little bit disappointed with him.
Yeah, no. Look. This is Mickey. This is Nigel here. Look, he's saying Antonio tells the truth, and he's wrong. No. I'm sorry. They're competitive sports people, Nigel. You can tell the truth if you want, but you can't have a footballer accepting that you're losing. It's just how we are. We're just West Ham. You got to expect us to lose. That's the wrong fucking attitude.
That's the attitude that Moyes has when he talks about West Ham as well. He doesn't, you know, that thing about flaky old West Ham. Well, that's exactly what Antonio's saying. We're flaky. I thought Moyes put a stop to that.
Yeah, we're not flaky anymore, Gal. Right, Mickey, do you want Wanks?
Yeah, he was on VAR today, the actual Peter Banks, wasn't he?
Let's rate Wanks anyway. Go on. What do you reckon?
Banks. I thought he didn't do too bad in the first half. No, hold on, girl. Go first half, I said. First half. But there weren't much going on for him to do. And then he just had a shocker after that.
Terrible.
Like, he was shit in the second. He lost control, lost full control.
Totally.
Yeah, and he was shocking. I mean, I'm not a fan of refs anyway, but again, another week, another shocking ref. So yeah, everyone's saying freeze and that. I'll give him a 3.
Even the linos was shit today. They kept giving the fucking decisions the wrong direction. They were looking to the referee to ask what way it was, right? Even one where I think Soucek was shielding the ball. The ball was the other side of Soucek. Referee can't see through him, right? And he's given the decision. It was a throw into them. It was a throw into us.
Yeah. Right, so what's your score, Mickey?
3, Nick.
Right, okay. What I've done, I put a poll in the chat for the donkey. Is it going to stay or is it going to go? Don't let me down, people.
This is a democracy.
It's a democracy.
This one could actually go either way, you know.
I don't reckon it won't go either way.
Yeah, I think it could go either way because it was a win. I don't know.
What do you reckon, Mickey, anyway, for the score? What did you say it was?
3.
The donkey stays. Right, Gary, that means you get McMinge.
Yeah, well, look, it wasn't a great... I thought he bailed himself out at the end. I thought he bailed himself out. When I saw the formation and realised he'd sacrificed an attacking player for Soucek, either Benrahma or Antonio, this was a game that I think needed Antonio. You remember like we played up front against Brentford, but this time you could have Bowen one side, Kudus the other.
I love that claret and
Antonio in the middle, smashing up defenders, right?
Yeah.
Even though I've just slagged him off. That would have been ideal against Nottingham Forest, in my opinion. And no, he sacrificed an attacker. Either Antonio or Benrahma are the ones, right? And he put Soucek in there instead. Shoved Paqueta out on the wing where he was, not very effective. So I hate that formation. So that is a 3 out of 10 for the formation. The tactics, I thought we played a little bit higher. But however, I think we dropped so deep and we dropped deep without an outlet, right? So I'll give him a 4 out of 10 for the tactic for the tactics. Yeah, so formation 3, tactics 4, and I'll give him a 6 for making good changes. And so what's the average of 3, 4, and 6?
Gary, if we had Gary, if we
3,
had
4, and 6, so that's 13 divided by 3. Why did I pick one? So we go up. Fucking hell, 4. Give him 4.
Yes.
Yep, and that's what everyone said anyway. 83% of our beautiful claret and boozers. They've all said that donkey stays. Well done. You make me proud. Hang on. I love
Moyes' tactic did let them back in the game. When they were pushing us, this is my point, and we had all of our players back almost in the 18-yard box, we needed to give them something to think about, and that would have been Kudus hanging around waiting for the break.
Gary, can I just say something, right?
What?
Fair enough. Soucek popped up right at the end to get that fucking header. If that had finished 2-2, what would your opinion of him leaving Soucek on and taking Gary, what would your opinion have been of the Soucek rather than Alvarez sub? Or Alvarez rather than Soucek?
No. I was outraged. I didn't think that. There's no way.
He was lucky. He was lucky. Soucek scored. I'm telling you.
Yeah, he was. And it goes down as people will say, oh, he got it tactically bang up. No, he didn't. He was thinking about it. He nearly brought Antonio on earlier. Changed his mind. Antonio sat down again. He got up and he brought him on. He decided to leave Soucek on the pitch. Oh, My God.
People,
Listen, he got himself. He got himself out of jail. He got himself out of jail.
I think
we actually got a win. We've got a win, so we've got to do a man in a match, really. So I'll put this in the chat as well.
17% of the audience are happy with Moyes, says Hawaiian.
Who said that?
Hawaiian says 17% happy.
Right. So man of the match. Who are the players?
I'd say Ward-Prowse, Bowen,
JWP,
and Areola. I think out of them three, I think.
I'd personally, well, let's see what the people think, but I'd personally give it to JWP today.
Stop affecting the vote.
2 assists. 2 assists.
Can I just
I'll give it to Areola.
A comment I saw, by the way. Sam David, yes, this is a fruit shoot. I bought my stepson a Happy Meal on the way back from the game today. He didn't want it. I've just tried to drink it, but I pathetically can't take the top off the bottle. I'm having to drink it.
Childproof.
Yeah. So,
why don't you just take the whole lid off?
Because I'm weak. All right, I'm weak.
Yeah, unfucking screws. Yeah, unscrews.
I was trying for the last 10 minutes. I was out there.
Right, okay.
I'll tell you what, I've got to take my own lid to football in future because fucking nicking my lid. I'll buy a whole bottle of water. Don't nick my fucking lid.
Gary, do you reckon
I spilt it on the way into the ground, so now I've got half a bottle of water.
Do you reckon you could start like a school business when you used to sell biscuits? Do you reckon if you used to take like a bag full of lids into the game with you, you could sell
it on the down low? Yeah,
I reckon you could sell them for £1 each.
Lid dealer.
There's a few people asking about Creswell not getting.
I could do that actually, Nick. I could just hover behind the counter. Anyone walking away with a bottle.
Yeah. The bottle?
Creswell got about 2 minutes, didn't he?
Listen, that.
Yeah,
people asking. People going, Creswell went in a question mark, but
non-applicable for Creswell.
Right, say sorry to JWP.
Say sorry. No. Right, he has got the man of the match anyway. So there you go.
Yeah,
he did deserve it.
He did deserve. Played well. He played well the other night as well. He got his set pieces back on. I think he actually watches the channel and he took it as a challenge.
Like I said, the bar wasn't set very high today. He did well. He did well today. So here we go. Right, let's take that off. Banners. Right. Couple of questions in the chat while I sort my phone thing out.
Yeah. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that next game. I'm going to go there. I'm going to get one of those boxes. You know those things that go around your neck? Like they sell popcorn in the theatre and cinema and stuff like that, right? Get one of them. I'm just going to have an array of lids, like chrome ones with logos on. I'll just sell them to people who are heading away from the till with their open bottle of Diet Coke or something.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to earn a fortune. Imagine how much you can charge over the London Stadium for something
30 quid a lid. 30 quid a lid.
Yeah. They let you keep them after the games. I've had to buy me sets on the Prime before, and they are very like they look around to the supervisors like, can I let them have the lid? And I'm going, I don't want he wants the bottle, and I'm going to put stuff inside it. And I think it must be after the game. Gary from Romford's on here, isn't he? He's on here still, doesn't he? I've never been kind of embarrassed as much as I was as when you interviewed him in the car park, Nick, and you said that I didn't think he had a TV or
he was so pissed off with you. He said, "I have got a TV."
I apologise to him. I have to, because there was definitely someone in it that phoned up at one point who said they haven't got anything apart from not that. And when he said all that, there's massive ego on my face.
Claret and lids,
Claret and lids, yeah. I sell Moyes out lids. Right, okay. The phone's working. Where are we? Okay. Right, go on, phone in when you're ready. Hang on.
But I'll tell you what, here's a little tip for you. If you want a lid, you go outside to the stalls at half time, get yourself a bottle of Coke. They won't take your lid off. They will not steal your lid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
It's only inside the ground.
Before the game. Yeah. Oh, you mean?
You know the stalls outside?
Yeah.
Well, you pay 11 quid for chili chips.
We queue up for the whole of half time.
Yeah.
Mate, it's so expensive over there, Mick.
11 quid.
11 quid. Yeah.
Yeah. So
honestly, 5 pence worth of chips.
I got served the half price pint today as well. That one.
Donkey lids, Nick. There's a branding opportunity.
Get your Moyes out, donkey lids.
Don't forget Mickey to sell them.
Yeah.
Roll up.
Count too bad, but all is pain.
That's it. Yeah. We get you a stall outside, Micky. We get you a stall.
The ground wouldn't buy him. Everyone likes Moyes in the stadium and on Twitter.
All right.
I thought you had a caller lined up. That's why.
No. I'm gonna phone Gary, see if he's about. Hello, is that Gary?
Hello, Nick.
Hello, Gary. How are you? I just thought I'd give you a call because no one else was phoning me. We was feeling lonely.
Oh, thanks a lot.
We was feeling lonely. So, there's no one else wanted to talk to us. So I thought I'd phone you.
Oh,
keep hearing it.
I was about to call in, actually.
No, go on, mate. How are you anyway?
I'm all right, Mick. I see that Luke Bailey's on tonight.
He is.
Hi, mate. Hi.
Hello, Luke. How you doing, mate? All right.
TV gate.
I've got my apology loaded up, mate. Honestly, I
no, mate.
got you completely wrong with something.
Somebody else.
Must be the other Gary.
Gary's got a proper massive telly, ain't you?
How many inches, Gary? How many inches? And a telly.
Yeah, and a telly. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you like to talk about anyway? Even I phoned you. Make something up. Go on, Gary.
Yeah. Well, really, I've been listening to the conversations tonight. I mean, this thing with West Ham in a moment and the old Moyes thing, you know.
Yeah.
I've been sitting to think about what's been said, but both camps really. What I would say, what we've got to bear in mind is here. I mean, with the performances, we've obviously won our last two games, so we've we stopped the rot sort of thing. But we've got to bear in mind he's playing virtually the same, pretty much the same team Thursday, Sunday. You know, so that's got to be taken into account when we think about performances. I mean, he played like 3 days and the Forest had a week's rest. It must have some impact on the game. It's got to, you know, whether you like Moyes or not, it's got to have some impact.
What was we boring, dull and shit on midweek then, Gary?
And why did he have to play the full strength side against Olympiacos, Gary?
I said, why was we boring, dull and shit against Olympiacos then? What was the excuse for that one?
Again, we played Thursday, we're playing Sunday. We're playing twice a week anyway, I suppose. Really.
Gary, why was he forced to play a full strength side on Thursday? Why was that? I forget.
Well, because he mucked up on that out there. Of course, yeah, we know that. that. No, all I'm trying to say is it wasn't a great. End of the day, it was all about the result Thursday night, wasn't it? Get back to top of the group and then win the. It's the Freiburg game's going to be the key game. If we can beat them at home, we're through. We can forget about it then for a couple of months, can't we?
Yeah.
But,
Good point,
I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I'm not. We're playing in spells. We started off well today, faded. Forest took over, and then once we went 2-1 down, then we went for it. But you are right, Gary. He did muck up Cooper because he was 2-1 up, and he started to sit back and defend. And Forest are not great from home. They're like Villa. They're good at home. They're not so great away from home. And it played into our hands a little bit, you know.
I loved last week when they beat Villa. Someone who shall remain nameless went out and said, I'm just so glad that a low block team won today. It shows what we should be doing. I know.
What do you make of the Bowen thing? Because I still feel he's doing a good job there. He's scoring goals, but I still feel he's better on the right.
Oh no, he's a winger. He's a winger. Yeah. I mean, we saw it midweek. The minute you switch Bowen out to wide, that's where he's best. Now, I'm not saying that he can't do some form of job down the middle, but you're getting half a Bowen. You're taking away from his game.
What would you do if in January we go and buy a striker and then suddenly all the little bits fit into place? If you got let's say a striker up there down the middle, you've got Bowen on the right, and then would you play Paqueta on the left and play Ward-Prowse?
No.
Gary, sorry, right? So I always say this. We do need a striker. I agree. But what makes you? Where has the proof been to show that Moyes knows how to play a striker? So please, whoever
the proof shows the opposite of that.
That's what I'm saying to you. So there's a lot of people. Not saying you, Gary, but there's a lot of people that put the emphasis on getting a striker should solve all our problems. But it's not, because he's never known how to use a striker in the first place. That's why he converts wingers into strikers.
Yeah,
he don't know how to play them.
Yeah, I know. Well, the thing is, Mick, I mean, if Moyes is still going to be here and we are going to buy a striker, it's got to be a striker in Antonio's mould, I suppose, isn't it? Really, mate? You know, because you're right. Scamacca were nothing like Antonio, were they?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think that they will now. I think now that he's gone, now that we know that he's basically a caretaker manager now to the end of the season. It's what he is. It's what
he's going, isn't he, Nick? 189 days.
Yeah, but he's going. So now we know that is the case. Why would you go out and spunk a load of money on a striker that fits a Moyes mould? Really,
but it doesn't matter anyway, because we can go and get Harry Kane, right? We could get Harry Kane, and he'll be like, "I know he's played in Germany, he needs time to settle in." So he needs at least 4 months to settle in.
I'm going to leave you with Gary quickly. I've got to go down and quickly sort the dogs out.
Can I just say? There was a comment on here, and I quite like it. Right? About a brand of Moyes out toilet paper, because I reckon that would be the worst type of toilet paper. You remember the shiny stuff that you used to get at school?
Yeah, the tracing paper.
Yeah, the tracing paper. Yeah, that would be the Moyes toilet paper.
Bloody
wouldn't be absorbent.
Nick never come out the toilet, would he?
Right. So but I think Gary, what did you think Moyes got everything bang on today, or what?
No, but I think he actually did react, and end of the day, look, whatever camp you're in, whether you think entertainment comes first or whether you think results come first, if it's down to results, and obviously got the win, we needed it. If we'd have lost that game today, we'd have been in 16.
Can I just clarify? There ain't a single person in the West Ham fan base, right, who would take great football and losing every week. I'm sorry, there ain't a single person out there. It ain't a choice between one or the other. No. It's a choice. No. Is all we're asking for. Is it? And I think, I don't know who said it last week. It might be you, Micky. I just want our team to have a go at other teams and try and inflict us on them rather than worry about them. That's all. It's not too much to ask, is it? It hasn't got to be beautiful. It hasn't got to be tippy tappy.
No, but you're right. But I mean, obviously, it'd be fascinating to see another manager come in with this group of players, especially if it has a striker to it. But then, see, we'll talk about Postecoglou the other day. Nick's always said about great manager, but I thought he was totally. He may totally is brave on Monday against Chelsea, but I thought he was. When you think Chelsea this season have struggled against teams who do a low block, what did he do? 9 minutes, pushed up the halfway line.
Groovy, Gary.
It'd have been much better.
I agree.
Sat back and defended.
I agree with that. When you're down to 9 minutes, I think it's fucking stupid. It's really naive. But apparently, and this is according to a Spurs mate of mine who was there. Apparently, the fans gave the team a standing ovation at the end.
Well, to be fair, they put a lot of effort in, and I watched it Monday night, and I was supporting Spurs, but you have to admire the way they were going. They could have got something out of it. They could have got back to 2-2 at one point. I think they did. They scored.
But this isn't Spurs TV, Gary. This isn't Spurs. This isn't Spurs TV. As Nigel reminded us earlier.
I'm just trying to make a comparison to what Nick wants. What Nick wants to start attacking progressive manager. But would fans soon get fed up of it if we started, throwing games away like that? It's like,
Well, look, no one would accept it, would they? No one would accept it. And I'm telling you, they might have got a standing ovation the other day. This is another conversation I will pull today. Extension. They might have given a standing ovation the other night. But if that happens 2-3 games down the line, they're going to be booing them, right? Because it is, yeah.
But tell you what, Gal, as the season's going on, you can see what we need to improve this team. You can see you need a striker. We know that that's the number one priority. We'll have a striker in left-sided attacking midfield player who can just go on the outside of people rather than having to cut in. We haven't got that, and I think a right back. Sapal going forward could be decent, but when he's up against someone with pace, Doku, Langer today, he's getting roasted sometimes,
For me,
younger right back got to be brought in, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, for me, in this Moyes system, the way he plays, I think the right back is probably our biggest. I worry about that right back. I really do. I know Soucek's had a couple of assists, but he does get for the right back. I think that we need to change that up.
Plus, also, Nick, but when Bowen used to play there, you had to keep tracking back. Now Kudus is having to do the same thing, and you don't really want that, do you? You want them up the other end of the pitch as much as you can.
Well, we see that today.
Someone in mind.
We see that today, didn't we? No, sorry, Go. I was just answering your question, but we see that today with Kudus. It was probably his worst game he's had for us, and that's because he did have to track back all the time, and he helped. He nearly got himself another yellow card. You know that when
I know
he took Alanga took on 2 foul, beat him, but then Kudus had to run back.
It was all elbows, wasn't it? It was all elbows.
He could have been in trouble there.
Yeah.
Just a question for Gary, Micky, and for Luke. Is there any right backs that you can think off the top of your head that you think would fit the bill for us?
Right backs? Well, look, I think what I'd like to see, Gary, apparently we've got an absolutely cracking right back in the youth team. You know that under 21 team who are beating men's teams at the moment? They're beating 3 men's teams, right? These is a special group of kids. What I'd like to see is in Europe, I'd like to see one of them giving a go rather than bringing on. You know, why would you play Soufal in Europe? Why would you even bother with Kera? If he's not in your plans, why bother? But there's no incentive for Moyes to do it, right? And he ain't going to do it because he clearly hates the kids from what he said.
Who's the young player they're playing at the moment, right back, right wing back? Is it Chester's?
Yeah, I think he is, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he's been getting some really good reviews, isn't he?
He has. He has as well. Very, very. There's so many good players. It's like if you ain't going to play Antonio, play Mabama. If you play him up front with players around him, I swear Mabama will be good. Right? He'll put in so much effort. He's never failed. Yeah.
I'll tell you one other thing. Sorry, mate. Cut across you. I was just going to say, remember 2 seasons ago when we were going for the Europa League and top 6, and in the end we didn't buy anyone in January. We all know what happened. We had a 2 smaller squad. They all got burnt out, didn't they? This season we all thought we had this really amazing squad with depth, but I'm beginning to wonder because the same players are getting played pretty much every week, aren't they? And I wonder where are we going down.
I think we have, Gary, but you know what? I'm hearing this argument a lot. So people are talking about the likes of Fornals and other players that come in. They're not good enough now. I'm sorry. We've just got a load of good players in the squad. We have got a good squad on. I mean, we have got gaps. So we've got a problem at right back, and we've got a problem in a forward line. But we've got a million midfielders. We've got enough defenders. I think we have got enough depth. I've got to be honest. But the thing is that the players outside Moyes' preferred kind of 11, they're not doing a job anymore. They're not. Then it's not because they're shit. No,
then also, Nick, part of the problem is just lack of game time. You know, when I actually train, you can't be having match sharpness, can you?
No.
And you're getting not getting played.
There's
you're going to be a yard off the pace. Yeah.
No, I agree, mate. I agree.
He seems to be sticking to the same players again, which is okay. But we've got a lot of games coming up, and he's got to sort of rotate a bit more.
I personally thought he was switching team, especially at the start of the season. I personally thought he was switching it. He was having his cup team and his league team. He was switching quite a lot. I thought he was being quite clever with it. Making sure that all players got some sort of game time. Of course, Danny Ings was getting over Obama, which kind of annoyed me after a few games because clearly he was never having an impact. But we have more or less got 1-2 players to every one position, which is good.
Yeah.
But the problem is that Moyes being one-dimensional, it is very much like one size fits all with in the position, and some players you can't always play unless you're like Man City and you know that you can play out pretty much whatever team and you're going to get a result most weeks. We kind of got to think about what team suits what game, what player suits what position for whatever game and stuff. So I think he has tried. I think he might be going back to back on his way a little bit and going back to old Moyes, which he does during the season. He does go back to Moyes' default, which is like the favoured players get played all the time and the other stuff the other lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you're saying. I just think that he did try that at the start.
I just don't think he tries enough, and I think he's literally waited until people started kicking off, until obviously Steiten's had a word with him. All of a sudden, Antonio's dropped. All of a sudden, he's not bringing Ings on. He gave Obama some game time. It's like he has to get fucking bullied into doing the right thing, and I've said before, it ain't because David Moyes is fucking useless and can't see what everyone else. Because something with that that in particular, when everyone's saying the same thing, and there ain't a West Ham fan out there, even the really really pro Moyes lot, that will say, yeah, I can understand why he's bringing Danny Ings on rather than Mabama. There's some things that nobody can fucking defend, and it's taken him so long to this point, and now all of a sudden he started doing it. And this is the issue I've got with that guy. He is so stubborn and stuck in his ways, and he doesn't do the right things, and he knows they're not the right things.
First game on match of the day.
You're right.
Yeah, a little bit of fun for you. Sorry, mate. A little bit of fun for you before I go. Nick, remember we met the other week? I was after you. We did your idea about the top 11 all time West Ham.
Yeah.
My other little thing I was going to ask very quickly: if you could change one moment in West Ham history, I'll give you 3 options. 1, 2006 Cup final. Gerrard doesn't score that goal. We win the FA Cup. 2, 1986. We were 3 points off winning the Premier League. The key game. So I watched them games. The key game was we lost at Chelsea 2-1 at home. If you could reverse that. Or 3, the Eintracht Frankfurt semi-final. Creswell don't get sent off and we go on and win it. Yeah. Out of them 3 moments, which one would you change?
FA Cup.
FA Cup every day.
I thought you did say that.
I'll say. Let me ask you something. Right, we're going to go back to Sackgate last year, Aston Villa. If you could go back to that game, right, and we lose that game, Aston Villa keep Gerrard and we get Emery, would you change that?
Yes.
You asking me that?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would probably. Looking at what Emery's doing at Aston Villa. Yeah. I'd say definitely. But it's interesting though. You've all chose the 2006. Is that because you were all there? I mean, I was there as well.
I was there, yeah.
Well, I chose. I would choose it over the Frankfurt game because I don't think there's any guaranteed. Even if Creswell does stay on the pitch, we go through anyway. I think it was one of those games where we were kind of on the back foot throughout it anyway, and even us getting a goal was, I think it was one of those games.
I don't think you realise, Gary. Gary, were you there? Were you at the 2006 FA Cup final?
Yeah, I was, mate.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you'll remember it. It's still the FA Cup final still feels like a fucking enormous global event, right? It is huge, and we were that much from winning it, and I was sick as a dog after that. Yeah, I was proud of how we played.
I think you're right, Gary. He's a bit. I think I've chose that without hesitation because I was there, and
that would have been my best day ever. It would have been if we'd have beaten Liverpool there. That would have been unmatchable.
30 seconds away. All he had to do, Scaloni, was pull it up the other end of the pitch. That's all he had to do.
Yeah.
I was in Turkey for that final, and we was in this little cafe, and it was half the cafe was West Ham, half the cafe was Liverpool, right?
Oh, it's brilliant.
And I think these Liverpool, I don't think they're English Liverpool. I think they were Turkish Liverpool fans, but I think it got to about 3-2 or 2-2 with it, and then these Liverpool fans are going, "You're playing well today, West Ham." It was like respect sort of thing. Like it wasn't just a whitewash. And then when they won it, and we just walked out. Say what you want about Liverpool fans and stuff like that, but we walked out and they weren't celebrating at all in front of us. They were just sitting there going, like, we won, but like it was a good whole.
Even at Cardiff and that though, West Ham fans and Liverpool fans, it was all banter all day. To be fair,
it was brilliant.
It was such a great day.
Yeah, it was such a great
day.
The
only thing I would say, lads, the the 86, I saw a lot of them games. I was fairly young then, but I saw a lot of them games, and we, towards the end of the season, we played 7 games in 11 days because of the backlog of games. And the game against Chelsea was sold out. I've got in, just managed to get into Upton Park, and we lost 2-1 to Chelsea. And if we'd have won that game, then we would have probably won that league. So, much as I was at both of them and you was only at one of them, do you not think that maybe we never won the Premier League or the First Division before? Would you still rather win that FA Cup than if we could have won the league in '86?
Well, for me, it would have been. For me, I would have chosen the FA Cup.
This is. Can I just say this comment from Dan Perkins can't get a game at Oxford yet? Everyone is outraged when he left. This isn't FIFA. You patronising?
Yeah. Look.
Can I just say? Right? Can I just say? You remember Noble sanctioned moving a lot of those players on to get them out of the fucking way for this great class of kids who are coming through now and beating men's teams in the EFL Trophy, aged 17 and 18. Not just beating them, slaughtering them. They've beaten Bristol Rovers. Who's the other one? Newport County, and they beat Cheltenham 4-0 at their own place the other week. They dominated them, right? Don't tell me there ain't 2 or 3 players in that team who are going to go the whole way and become top players.
But again, we know that David Moyes. We know that David Moyes over the years he's done tick boxes with players. He's given them a game or 10 minutes, never to be seen again, and it's literally what he does. You know, he's done it with more players than anyone else, and it ain't giving anyone an opportunity. Giving someone 10 minutes in a dead rubber game. So Gordon says here, he gives Moyes gave game time to Ashby and Gaki and Odebeku.
Yeah,
do you remember what he did with Odebeku, Gary?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Against Man United.
Yes, he ruined him. He ruined him. He put him on the pitch. He didn't play well.
Scumbag.
He substituted him off at Old Trafford, the club he came from. He never got over it. That was as bad as what Sam Allardyce did to the kids at Forest.
Yeah.
He ruined his career. That kid has not recovered.
What I would say is, if we did get another manager in who actually had faith in the youth, like Gary just said, if you think about it, you think of all these young players that could come through, you imagine how much stronger our squad would be without spending a penny.
Yeah, no. I'll tell you what, Gary, you can stay on the line a minute because I've got a comment that was put on my video earlier on, a really good comment, actually. A sensible one. And basically, this was from AE West. He's in the chat now. I saw his name and it's reminded me. And his response to my video was, let's be honest, no other manager would get us any higher up the table but you've got to wait than where we are. Our midfield is a top 7 midfield, but we've got no striker and our back four is lacking in quality. Any manager that comes in to replace Moyes now would struggle with our back four. We will only crack the top 6 when we buy 2 better fullbacks and a top quality centre-back who is consistent. Moyes' ball is tough to watch, but we will finish lower than we would with a new manager implementing a new attacking style with that defence. We can't make that change until the summer. Manage your expectations and enjoy Europe. Now, I don't agree with all of that, but I do agree with a lot of it because I do think that David Moyes has spent 466 million and built a fucking team full of holes that is basically a low-block team. And if you're bringing a new manager in, what he's saying there, if you bring a new manager in that wants to coach a more expansive way, you know, that is why I think, Gary, what you said, my brother Gary, when you said when David Moyes wanted to fucking fulfill his project by getting McTominay in and Maguire, he wanted to make this a 100% Moyes team, so no one else could come in and do it.
He wanted to make it so exactly. He wanted to make it really difficult to bring in another manager. Right, really
different
difficult.
The funny thing is,
they couldn't take over from Ferguson at Man United. That was what Ferguson was doing. He knew it he was taking over from me. I ain't gonna do very well with it.
But that was embarrassing for Ferguson because Ferguson had gone around telling everybody that the organisation he'd spent the last 20 years building and winning all of those trophies, right? He went and spoke to all the seniors in that squad and said, don't worry, nothing's going to change. Moyes went in there, sacked a lot of them and said, I'm number one now. You lot fuck off. Didn't say it in those words, obviously, but he might as well have done, right? That is how big an ego he is. He thought, I'm the man now. What Fergie did is no good to me. I'm going to do it my own way. And he's fucking sacked inside a year.
I'm going to back him up in this a little bit because I've seen an interview this week. I think it was from 2 years ago. It was Jake Humphrey, I think it was. Yeah. And they said, when you got the Man United job, what was did you take any advice from anyone? And he said, I'll be honest with you. He said, it's the first time I've heard him sort of speak like this because normally he's quite arrogant in interviews. He sort of backs himself up quite a lot. But this one was like, one person, he said basically every person he saw, the other person gave him the opposite advice. So he said, one person said, you've got a winning backroom staff there, keep it, just go in and try and just do your own bit within the. And someone else said to him, no, take all the people who you've grown with at Everton and go and take them there and do what you've been doing at Everton and grow Man United. Then the other person went, no, Ferguson's got a great backroom staff and a load of good players there. Go and work under him.
Look, it's a different relationship. It's a different relationship, isn't it? That was an organisation. You know, Ferguson was a delegator. He was a delegator and he built that organisation and he swapped the parts out as needed when they weren't performing, including his first team coaches. You know, he got through several of those when they weren't performing anymore and he wanted more ideas and he weren't getting any new ones off of these people. He put a new part in place, right? Moyes doesn't listen to anybody. Gary, he doesn't delegate.
But Gary, also, and Luke, that is utter bullshit because I'm not being funny. You know when David Moyes is lying because his mouth moves, right? He doesn't want to accept any responsibility for any mistake that he's ever made. He went into Man United and wanted to rip the guts out of it, take away, and he wanted to become he's Man United. Listen to the TalkSport interview with Rene Mullenstein. Okay. Listen to that. Listen to that. He literally came in and he basically was like, well, he had like Gary said, he had a winning machine already built. And Rene Mullenstein was like, the guy just came in. He's like, no, I'm doing that. I don't really need that.
And they just won the league. They just won the league for the umpteenth time.
He wants to do it all himself.
I still find it madness that his signing for Man United was Fellaini. Like, it tells you everything you need to know. He brought Fellaini to Man United.
And I haven't checked, Mickey, but I'm guessing that Fellaini started every game because he is his Soucek.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yes.
And he's gone like, and then
he's a one-trick pony. He knows nothing, no other fucking way of playing other than that.
Centre backs at the time? Was it Ferdinand and
Vidic? Yeah.
And he's gone, here, have a look at this. Have a look at this video. This is how I want you to play. This is how I used to play at Everton. Fuck off.
Anyway, Watford, I'm going to let you go because we're just going to see if anyone else does want to phone in. So,
all right, lads.
we're giving
Cheers,
you
Gary.
25 minutes. Thanks for the call, mate. Thanks very much.
Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Bye.
Right, if anyone does want to phone in, please do. Otherwise, we'll just go through the phone in. Right, so shall I put the number up?
Yeah.
Hang on.
I'll go for Fellaini.
Do you know what though? It's one of those games going into a weekend where it weren't an amazing performance. I don't think anyone's really going to be elated that much. I don't think there's not really. It's that purgatory feeling now.
It's relief.
It's
just relief, Nick.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But you said it spot on earlier, Nick, when you said about when the goal's gone in. You're happy, of course you're happy, but it weren't that. Like you like that, like yeah. See, when Gary's at the game and they score that goal, you're in the atmosphere.
You're in it, yeah.
You're in it. Yeah, so you're buzzing. But when you're sitting there at home, you're like, this was like a game where it should have been 3-2. I think makes it sound an amazing, entertaining game. But
I didn't react to anything. Like I've never done that before. I don't think. I was just when they scored one goal, I was just like, oh. I scored another one. I was like, oh.
No, I think going back to why did Fergie recommend him? Why did Fergie recommend him? I think because if you look at his record under Everton, they overachieve year on year, and he did it on hardly any budget. And I suppose the thinking from Fergie was, if he'd done that on no budget, imagine what he could do with a budget.
Yeah, this is true.
I think that's what we all thought, wasn't it, Gal?
Yeah.
We thought the same thing. I know he's going to get a bit of money. He's never had this sort of money before. We're getting money. He should be flying.
English Yardie says Fellaini's a free agent.
Oh, fucking hell, English Yardie. God. No, the worst thing is, right? The worst thing is, and for me anyway, is I know Moyes can play the style of football we want because he did it against Arsenal last week. Right? He's done it before. He's done it before. We've played all out attacking football before.
Gary, that high energy pressing game was nothing to do with David Moyes.
Yeah, all right.
That honestly wasn't. When have you ever seen him do that before?
Was that Agent Heitinger?
When have you ever seen him do that before? Honestly,
that is the annoying thing, though, Gal. We've got the players to play like that.
Yeah,
we've definitely got the players. So you telling me? When I've seen it before, and they were saying about the players have got to take a stick for this one. But you telling me the players wasn't told or coached by Moyes for that keep hold of it in the centre of the park by going backwards and sideways. You think that's the players doing that by themselves? Of course it ain't. That's in the training ground from Moyes. Do you know what I mean? This is what we want to do.
Amanda says, good evening, Amanda. She says the entertainment was that City and Chelsea game was unbelievable. That was back and forth. That was two great on that night, two great attacking football teams that were refusing to lie down and accept it. They just kept on going at each other. It was a brilliant watch. It was, and I must admit, I particularly enjoyed the Man City boy scoring the penalty at the end to take it to 4-4. He's got some bollocks, hasn't he?
See, I didn't because I messaged you, didn't I, just before, and I was all like with a little funny video of this guy going Chelsea, and then literally after I sent it, about 30 seconds later, they'd equalise, and I've got.
But that's entertainment, right? If you watch that game, and I know we're talking about Man City and Chelsea, who are potentially, they've got all the players, they're potentially class as well. They've got Pochettino, but if you watch the level in that game and then watch our game. It is. It is levels below.
Listen,
levels below.
Moyes. This comment from Lawrence Moyes back in for Maguire in January. I'm delighted to say Moyes is signing nobody in January. That's Tim's job.
He's got. He's literally got no say now over the incoming transfer.
Zero say. None. It's all his boss.
Zero say.
He's Tim.
They wouldn't get him there anyway. Tim's coming the shop. Wouldn't let him go now. He's in there. He's sort of saving.
Lawrence Watkins. He wants an answer to his question. What do you mags think about rumours that Moyes will leave as manager but go into upper management?
No way.
What's he going to get the tea or something? For the ballroom meetings.
Sean Whetstone's. He's
already that fucker upstairs.
He's already poo-pooed that. He said, look, we've got Tim starting as a director of football. You've got Sullivan, who's just a pervert in the boardroom, and you've got Mark Noble, who's a sporting director, or I don't even think he knows what he's doing yet.
Yeah, but I got told Moyes is going to be director of youth development.
Yeah. Or strikers.
We weren't turning our nose up at Palmer, right? Were we? We wanted Palmer.
Not me. No, but that's, you could get him to do that, I suppose. Like Mickey says, youth development, striker development. What else could he do, Gal? I think
sit back and count his money. He's a very rich man.
Yeah.
A very rich, greedy man who won't leave.
Director of man management and care.
Yeah, motivation, Mr. Motivator. Yeah.
Oh, that was another thing I saw.
Team building.
So sorry, this is going back, but this is another thing I saw on another channel. They were saying about it ain't Moyes' job. This honesty, this ain't Moyes' job to motivate players. Are you fucking kidding me? That it ain't Moyes, the manager's job to motivate players?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Did you read, again, we're going back to Spurs here, so sorry, but Son said that when Postecoglou talks to him, he feels like he's up for a fight going into a battle.
Yeah.
He's right up for it. And that's how a manager should be. They should be getting you right up on.
Whereas Brian Clough used to do. Brian Clough didn't have the best team of players in the world. He brought in the right parts for his team, but the skill that he had was, by the time that team went out on the pitch, first of all, they didn't fucking care who they were playing, right? And in the changing rooms, talking before the game, Clough never rated the opposition, right? And when they went out, it didn't matter who they were playing against, that great Forest side that won 2 European Cups. They felt like they were going to slaughter the opposition. Didn't matter who they were playing against. They felt 10 foot tall. That is a skill. That is motivation. That is man management.
Yep, I know. I love this comment here, and this is what I was talking about earlier on. Lost my feed, didn't bother. I put the radio on. We play better in my mind via commentary. I think that could be.
The commentary is always good, actually. Radio commentary.
But that could be my my go-to. For a few games moving forwards, because watching it. If I'm not at the game, watching it on TV, it pisses me off. It does.
Yeah,
I don't enjoy it.
Cheers, Lawrence.
Cheers, Lawrence. Thank you very much, mate. Very generous.
I put it into the West Ham network group earlier on. I said I wouldn't even mind if we were a low block defensive, whatever you called it, right?
Luke, blink if you need help.
Yeah.
Go on, Luke.
I wouldn't even mind if we were good at it, but because every time we seem to be on the back foot, we sometimes I respect it. I'm thinking, fair enough, we look comfortable doing this. Keep coming at us and we'll just break on you. Fair enough, but we don't.
Look. What do you reckon David Moyes says to our players at half-time, typically this season? Because in 90% of games, we've come out like they have been fucking tranquilised at half-time. So what do you think? What do you think he says to them?
I honestly think that he either does one or two things. Either like massages them individually, like you're playing so well, or he's a mood hoover, isn't he?
He really is.
Can I just say, right, because it's a Forest, we play Forest today, so I can talk about Cloughie. I did love Cloughie, and I used to read a lot of biographies, and there's one called Walks on Water. If you like a biography, read that. It's fucking amazing, right? This guy went into Derby in 1974. They were at the bottom of Division 2, the old Division 2. They won that division and then won Division 1 the year after, right? 2 seasons running. 75, he got into the semi-final of what is now the Champions League, right? Jesus. They were in the quarterfinal. They were playing an Italian team. They lost the first leg. The second leg, because you like to drink, Cloughie, right? He went to the old baseball ground. He said he needs to wet the pitch a little bit. So he turned the hose pipe on and he sat there drinking a bottle of scotch, fell asleep. Woke up, it's like the fucking Thames, right? And the Italians, they couldn't lift their feet up the following day, and he beat them. And afterwards, the manager said, "I didn't think there was any rain in this area." He said, "Oh yeah, it was last night." And by the way, he didn't only do that with Derby. When he took over at Forest, bottom of Division 2, won it, then won the first division, then won 2 European Cups. Now that is the best managerial achievement ever, in my opinion.
That's a legend.
Yeah,
the Damned United, the film about him, the Damned United.
Yeah,
I don't know about anyone else, but have you seen the end of that film where he goes up to who's his assistant?
Taylor, Peter Taylor.
No, it was him. I think it was someone else. It was.
They were a duo, Peter Taylor and Brian Clough. Yeah.
But to me, I don't know if I'm an outsider or minority thinking, but the way the film portrayed it was like he was on his hands and knees begging at the end of this film, and I thought. Yeah. This doesn't seem like it's all Cloughie. This seems like he's got.
Oh no, it would have been. Because they're a duo.
It was a duo. Yeah. It was a duo.
So, do you know what made
Peter
me laugh?
Taylor left, Cloughie was after man.
Yeah, do you know the story? One of the stories I love most was was when they played Wimbledon. You know, the crazy gang, and they rocked up. And they had a big ghetto blaster that they used to bring into the changing rooms, and the changing rooms was just next door to theirs. And they was playing. He was trying to give his team talk, and they was pumping this music up, and he couldn't hear it. So he told his assistant, "Can you go and ask him to turn the fucking music down, please?" So they went in. Minute later, he comes back in and he's like, "Why is the music still playing?" He said, "Oh, well, they've just ignored me." Done it 2 or 3 times. And then Cluffy's gone, "Right, fuck this." He's just walked straight through. Apparently, Vinnie Jones has opened the door. He's just walked past Vinnie Jones, picked up the ghetto blaster and just smashed it on the floor and walked out.
Clough once punched Roy Keane after he made a mistake. Yeah. He didn't. Honestly, he used to be a striker in, I think, like, was it the lower? No, it wasn't. I think he played in Division 1 as well, but he scored hatfuls of goals, Cloughie, as a player, as a striker, a real fucking proper striker. So he accepted nothing less than his strikers putting the ball in the back of the net. Yeah. And he knew a striker when he got on. He bought Sheringham, didn't he? He bought Sheringham, he bought Collymore. He made a fuck up. He paid £1 million for Justin Fashanu. And Justin Fashanu turned up in like a fur coat and a limo, and it's like, no, he's not for me. He's not for me.
Yeah.
Trevor Francis, the first £1 million striker, won him a European Cup. Anyway, enough about Forest.
Enough about Forest. But anyway, Gary, I think there's going to be no more calls tonight. It's going to be an unusually quiet one.
Like I said, you don't want to talk to us.
Well, look, it's one of them games. I think everyone feels it. Everyone would have been bored watching that game, and look, we won it.
But usually you've got a phone call and people like in call waiting and that all the time, aren't you? So
yeah.
Like, moaning about Moyes is what keeps his channel going. For it was
if it's positive, if we played well and we've won, it's great. If it's bad, then people want to phone up and have a moan.
Luke, the positive-ometer exploded after we played Arsenal. Me and Nick were on here, and we were fucking gushing. We even took the donkey off of Moyes.
I've tried to back Nick up a number of times on Twitter. You might not have seen Nick. I've replied to certain comments. I've replied to people on Facebook and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not up Nick's arse, but I do know for a fact that people talking bullshit when they say he's like the AFTV version of West Ham.
Yeah, I know.
He's the Vinger out kind of guy. And I'm thinking no, because I've watched videos, I've seen videos on here where you not particularly always like the football, but you've praised when you've seen there's things to praise and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think whether you wanted it or not, or whether you think, I think there is a certain level of when Arsenal used to lose, people used to go watch AFTV because they knew what.
Yeah.
I think now you've kind of maybe got that.
Yeah. But I think but do you know what it is, Luke, as well? Because the last thing you want to see when you just watch something shit and there's a loss, you want to see someone probably. No. Talk how you're feeling rather than somebody gaslighting, saying everything's fine. Why are you overreacting?
Yeah.
So you know what? That's the last thing you want to wear.
The funny thing as well, Luke, is when we were going through that little positive period last year, especially with a cup run and then the win and everything else, our views fucking soared.
That's what I'm getting at.
We love being positive. We really do. We love it.
I mean,
I've got to mention this. Elanga, when he scored that goal, he fucking whipped his shirt off like the game was over.
Yeah.
Right? Unlucky, mate.
I know.
Go on, Nick, go on.
Yeah,
no, I forgot what I was going to say now. I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
It's gone. Go on.
I mean, just to say, I mean, your views are being sky high due to positive things. People are trying to comment and saying, "Now, what are you going to say now?" Because Moyes is doing really well.
But that's the thing. People say, "Oh, well, when this manager goes, you're going to start on the next one." No, that's not the case. Gary, was I ever once Bilic out?
Honestly,
Gary,
right?
But Bilic, I supported Bilic until the end.
No, you absolutely did. Look, and there's no agenda. I can honestly say there is no fucking agenda on this channel. We just say it as we see it.
I can't say I hated Sam Allardyce, didn't like Kudus, don't like Moyes. I don't like pragmatic football. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, I've got to agree with that. But I love Pardew and Bilic and that. I love
same.
I love seeing all that football, like the exciting football. It's what we just crave for.
Redknapp, just managers with
only
bollocks.
Opinions, isn't it? It's only opinions.
But just managers with bollocks, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, because people said I don't remember Kirbishley being defensive. I was quite young anyway.
He was
terrible. If we were winning 1-0, Luke, he put Mullins on and closed the game out.
He was terrible. He was worse. He was worse than Moyes. He was worse than Moyes.
He was stubborn as well. He was stubborn.
Yeah.
He was. Just a bit. And from about February onwards, if we were safe, he did it with Charlton every year as well. About February onwards, not worth watching the rest of the season.
That's it.
Because it was just bleak, grim.
As long as we had something like 35 or 40 points, the rest of the season can do one, like we was happy or he was happy. But it took the fans to really get him to start playing Tevez.
Yeah.
Playing him, and that's what didn't they keep us up? Didn't it? Or
it was the Spurs game, wasn't it, where Tevez came on and he scored that. We lost, but that was the game where it turned, and we put in a great performance. Tevez scored a free kick, jumped into the crowd, and from that point on, it was just electric that season. Electric. I've never experienced losing to Spurs and actually feel quite upbeat. And I did that day.
Do you know what annoys me is the fact that now Tevez would get a yellow card for that.
Yeah, of course he would.
That annoys me.
But it's that thing, is what you were saying about, someone said about Alenga taking his top off and that, right, and getting booked. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying because that aged well, that was great. But I don't mind seeing that from the players. I don't think they should get booked because it's just passion.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I love that.
Yes.
And he took it out of the game, I think.
Mark, if I had a Moyes tattoo, Mark, it would definitely be on my arse. So but I definitely haven't.
When he bent over, you had Moyes going, ooh.
What's this t-shirt that I keep hearing about, by the way, Nick? What's this t-shirt? What's this t-shirt?
Yeah, the Moyes
No, they've not sent it to me. I literally sent a request to Dan and Nicky, and they've not sent me it, so they've not held me to it.
Got away with that.
I don't know where else to buy one from.
No, that wasn't the deal. You didn't have to go and buy your own.
Yeah, well, no, I said to him I'd buy it.
Right.
I'll make one and I'll spend a tenner on it and I'll get printing for it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not disappointed. I can't think of anything worse, but I would have done it.
Michael Levy Jr. Comment: Aidan Mullins was the player Mascherano could have been.
Yeah.
I can't believe we got over on him.
That was really funny, wasn't it? That Mascherano couldn't get in the team because of Mullins.
Crazy.
Did you hear James Collins talking about that on West Ham Fans TV?
Yeah, I saw that.
He said, for anyone that didn't see it, they said, why did Mascherano not get in over Mullins? And he went, all I can say is Mullins was fucking good that season. And it was just like,
he was. I
quite like Mullins.
The FA Cup final season, the first season back in the Premier League, Mullins was superb, wasn't he? Yeah. You remember he got banned for the final, and what's his name came in and played instead because we played Liverpool in a game the week before, and he got booked, didn't he? He got a booking or sending off or something.
Who played instead of him?
Was it the one who Pardew was rumoured to be knocking his missus off? Fletcher, yeah.
Fletcher, yeah.
Can I ask you all a question? There was something that came up earlier on Twitter with a good guy. But he kind of said he's seen a lot. He's sort of the stock reaction. I think he's Nigel's mate. So they're all from the same club. And he went, I've seen a lot worse in my years. And my response was, have you ever seen worse football with a better squad of players though? With a group of players like this, have you ever seen worse football with such talented players? Have you ever seen that?
No. Listen, he doesn't know how to use these flair players. He doesn't plan for it, does he? Just them being in there. We've said it a million times before. His gambles are number one, set piece. Number two, that it's going to be a bit of individual brilliance. Like the other night when we played really shit, and then in just a few minutes before the end, Ward Prowse picks out a beautiful pass and Paqueta finishes it game. Right?
Yeah.
The previous goals that what's his name scored? Kudus. Those goals were outstanding, and real moments of genius. Who else could have scored the Newcastle goal? That Arsenal goal. It's.
Could you imagine what Redknapp would have done with Kudus?
Kudus, Paqueta, all them lot.
Could you imagine what he'd have done with him?
He'd have built a team around him. I mean, we wouldn't have stopped attacking. We would have been relentless, right? We would have been relentless. It definitely would have played three at the back. It would have been like you'll score 3, but we'll score 7. Yeah.
It's interesting you say it though, Nick, because I think it kind of that comment you made earlier, the comment you saw earlier, which was that we've got a good midfield, but the defence and the forward line is lacking. realistically, I mean, it's a little bit like it's contradictory. It's a good.
I don't think the midfield's good. I think we should have a midfield. I think if you play our strongest midfield, which is Alvarez, Paqueta, and probably James Ward-Prowse, those three. If you played that as a midfield, I think they'd be brilliant.
Yeah,
I think they'd be brilliant.
I think so, yeah.
But to have James Ward-Prowse and Soucek, who are two players that are immobile, you know, I mean, I'm not being funny. There was 2 times today in the first half. I don't know whether you saw, but Paqueta was coming in from the left and he was recovering the ball. They was running through Soucek and James Ward-Prowse. Paqueta was coming in to help out and he was nicking the ball for them. They can't recover the fucking ball.
Steve, I asked this question last week.
Sure.
Go on, Micky.
Go on, Micky.
No, go on, Gal.
No, go on.
No, it's only a question to Luke, because I asked you this last week, and I'll be interested in hearing Luke's take on it. But what do you see as Moyes' strengths? What is his strengths in a positional play or anything like that?
Question.
It's a really good question.
I think he's got. How could I put it? The pragmatic side is possibly. You think back to when we was 2 or 3 seasons ago, when we was during lockdown and we was playing proper counter-attacking football, and we had Lingard and Bowen and all that. Right, we looked fucking good. And I pretty much sucked.
That was 5 months with Lingard turning into Maradona, though.
But even prior to that, I still think we played really good football. Even the season after, we were the first season in Europe. I don't really know. And to be honest, this is the weird thing with me. I don't know what has happened to change him, because he saved us from relegation. He then, for me, played good football. I enjoyed watching those seasons. I thought we played fantastic. We were going to every
fast
game.
Counter-attack. Fast counter-attack.
I thought at least if we lose this, at least we've played well and given it some fucking go. We'll you know, Bowen will have 3 or 4 shots on goal, or someone will do something. And that's the biggest thing for me, is the fact that my frustration with Moyes is not that I don't like him. It's the fact that I think I'm so disappointed in him.
Yeah.
From what he was.
Can I tell you what I think's gone wrong? I think what's happened is David Moyes was working with somebody else's team for 2 years, and we were a different side. Now we've got an almost completely David Moyes team.
Yeah.
So we're in the Pellegrini team that he inherited.
I think some of those players that with that period you're talking about with Lingard, Fornals was critical to that.
You know, but
he was critical to that.
You know, that time he saved us when after he replaced Pellegrini. Well, we finished in the same position as when he joined, didn't we?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll always remember from the Moyes, when Moyes first got to the club. You know, we played Chelsea in lockdown and we won 3-2. Yarmolenko scored the last minute winner. His celebration was that. Towards Moyes.
Oh, really?
Who was that?
When Yarmolenko scored the winner.
Yeah.
His celebration, as he wheeled off, he looked directly at the dugout and done that.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't getting played, was he, under Moyes? He wasn't. He was coming off of the bench. And he was cutting it.
But Yarmolenko's another one, a supremely talented player.
He really was. He was a special player, but he used to be a lightning fast winger. He didn't have the pace anymore, but he was a very cultured, exciting footballer who knew where the goal was, right?
He's another one,
Surely
Gary.
You find a place for him.
Do you know for Ukraine, he used to play central. He used to play as a striker.
Yeah.
You could have used him as a centre forward. He was a
big behind him as well, wasn't he? He didn't get more goals than Shevchenko.
You could have used.
He had confidence as well, self-confidence, massive.
I'll never forget that when he scored that goal against Chelsea. If you want a chance to fall to anyone, it's him.
Moyes got arm Tourette's again. Look, Nick. Arm Tourette's on Match of the Day.
There was a comment underneath saying Luke's still stuck in Prague. I never went to Prague, unfortunately, mate. I was in a pub.
But look. Kai Hughes has said, "Come on, Nick Yarmolenko is rubbish at times because of how he's played. When you're he's not the quickest player in the world. He's only got a left foot. He hasn't really got a right foot. Playing him on the right, all he can do is chop in. Every single fullback known to man knew exactly what he was going to do. He was easy to play. Moyes never helped him. He was. If you'd have played him central, it'd have been a nightmare for defenders. He would have been.
Yeah. Well, he did it for like you said, he did it for the international side. He played as a striker and he scored hatfuls of goals, right?
Yeah.
He couldn't have done any worse, could he? Tricky goal. Yarmolenko, he was past his best and he had a serious injury when he first joined us, but like I'm saying, he still had the quality and he had enormous self-confidence and a lot of skill and a lot of vision, right? He knew how to pick a pass out. He knew where the goal was. Surely you could have found another role for him rather than just shoving him out on the wing.
My point on that celebration was that it was the first time when I'd seen a player kind of give it back to Moyes and say, he wasn't happy.
That's true. That's true, actually. I've never seen it.
We were the best team. We were best at set pieces. There was nothing anyone could really shake at us to go, no, you're not very good at this. Soucek was on fire. The whole team had been like, Antonio was fantastic up front. He had got the, was bullying defenders, scoring goals. He carried on for about a season. So, but that was the first time when I thought, he ain't happy there. That's the first time I've seen a player go, I thought, Moyes is a good manager. I don't, but it was that was at the point in that time in that season. So, it's the first time I've seen it. That was the only time it sort of crept in. But I think Moyes has got his benefits, but there comes that point. Every manager sort of has that ceiling. Every manager of his level has that ceiling where they don't really like to go above it.
That's right.
And I think of it. But I was with Moyes. The thing where I start my Moyes out thing was when he started Fabianski last season. And it was when Areola had been signed permanently. And I thought, he's holding back here. He's not quite, why is he starting Fabianski? Why is he not putting Areola in again?
Absolutely right.
Maybe if he played Fabianski, we wouldn't win the Conference League. I don't know. You can't foresee these things. But fundamentally, there was something that in me was going, he's not moving on here. Right. He's holding back.
So somebody's put in the chat though, why we get is Mike Davidson. He says, why are we even getting angry? Moyes is a sticking plaster. He's on his way. You're completely right. It's just, it still burns me a little bit that we're wasting, because this could be our last year with Paqueta.
We're wasting time. We're wasting cycles.
It could be our last season with fucking Kudus if he carries on. Because if we don't get into Europe next year, I suppose, look, I've got faith in Tim. I think Tim knows what he's doing. I think going back to that comment that the guy said earlier on, that could be a reason why we haven't acted yet. Maybe Tim has looked at that and identified that and gone, the manager I want to bring in, maybe this ain't quite, there's a few positions we need to bring in January to help the manager. Because what he won't want to do is bring in his guy and for that guy to fucking have a nightmare when he comes in. He'd rather let David Moyes have a nightmare, to be quite honest. And then wait until the January window, get him some players and then let him go.
I will never forget that under the lights against Seville, though. That was the best atmosphere in that stadium, bar none. And it was absolutely a dot on the card when he came on from the bench. He was going to score because Russia had just invaded Ukraine, right? So he'd been away for ages. Yeah.
I thought he was a big game player.
He was,
and it was a shame he did that. Look, he had the injury problems. We know that. But yeah, I just think there's certain players. I mean, if you look at Kudus now, someone said it earlier on. It's like you've heard the post-match comments from Moyes about Kudus already. He's done it twice now, and Kudus today looked a little bit scared to go forward. He was doing a lot of backwards passing today, Kudus.
Yeah, and he was repeatedly.
He was doing a lot of backwards passing, and I think the guy can just get into people's fucking heads.
But he doesn't
encourage. He don't encourage him.
He's following instructions. Kudus is following instructions, right?
It was one point in the second half where he got the ball. We were coming out of the defence. I think it was from a corner or something like that. It was one point he got the ball in the second half. It was in our half, and he had space in front of him, and he could have pushed on and tried to take players on, but he almost gingerly walked towards it, and he didn't really. Yeah. And he passed it to Safal and then walked off. But he was like, that's not a confident Kudus. Normally he'd get the ball and just try and go past a few players. But he did look as if he'd been told. He did have his dribbles through defenders a few times in the game. But you just thought there was times where it was either that or he's thinking, I've got a whole pitch to run it if I want to make a difference. There ain't no way I'm using my energy up to run like in 70 yards or whatever you want to call it, because it's just no pitch. But
only one way to find out if Will still is ready. I mean, look, he's not inexperienced. He's just inexperienced.
Gary, did you block tarantula blowjobs?
Yeah.
Why? I thought I wanted to read the comment.
I just want. Honestly, I said before the show started, zero tolerance on idiots.
Oh, right? Was that an idiot?
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was looking forward to that one.
Nick's a fun brother, I think.
So, Luke, where did we land on? What's Moyes' strengths? Because I still don't know.
I'm sorry,
Well, think the last 2 years.
But you say that. That's what I'm saying to you. So automatically, he's a defensive manager. But
we're defensively shit.
We're defensively shit.
Yeah. I think he's a basics manager. He's not. Football moves on so quickly. It's ridiculous, right? This is why I say to people when people say to me, "Oh, we won you a trophy last year," I go, "Okay, did football stop after that final? Or did football carry on?"
Exactly.
After that? You know, did this
it stopped before the final. We were shit before the final.
Say it again.
Well.
I appreciate
in the final
at the club, but most clubs are. It's just fine margins in finals. They're one not played well, but that's in my opinion anyway. But he's good at the basics. He's the kind of manager you get in to save you from relegation. A bit of an Allardyce.
That's exactly my point. This is what I've always said.
For me,
always said the same thing.
This is my main point when people say who is going to be better than David Moyes. We didn't think David Moyes would do this with West Ham, get us and win a trophy. So it doesn't mean to say that in my opinion, Sullivan got lucky with the way Moyes has.
This was never part of Sullivan's plan, Luke.
Exactly, and it's gone. But now we got to that point where, in my opinion, I think he got lucky with the Conference League. We didn't really get a decent team until the semi-final.
We've got to buy. We got to buy to the. We got to buy to the final, I think.
And I agree. And the final was a bad performance. Let's be honest, right? It was a bad performance.
You still have to win it. Don't get me wrong. You still have to win. I'll give him respect that he won it, but fundamentally, there are flaws. There's so many flaws to his game, and for me, the whole demographic and ethos of West Ham fans has changed, in my opinion, especially since we moved to the new ground, right? Because it is very much seems to me now we're winning. What's the problem? But we were winning under Allardyce, and people were moaning about the football. There was the old cup days when we beat Hull 1-0 at home. And
but I've said before. So what you've got now is we've got kind of a new set of fans. That I've said this before. So, for instance, I put this on Twitter. I said the football fan base, not for everyone. There's still loads. There's still the majority of West Ham fans are the same. But there is a new noisy lot of fans that are basically. I like to liken them to like Arsenal fans. Like where we didn't become West Ham fans because we were glory hunters. We're family connections, but then you fall in love with West Ham off of your own back. That's what you do, and it was all about guts, passion, fucking balls out, going for it, no matter what, no matter what you've got. And that was what that was what West Ham was all about. It was never because we won fuck all. So how come all of a sudden we've won that trophy? Now it's a results-based business. It's a results-based business. Now, if it's a results-based business, right, then the product, which it is, but what I'm saying is if it's a business, then the product that the glory hunters buy into is glory. So if you become an Arsenal fan because you want to be a support a really successful team, you're a glory hunter. The product is glory. Our product has never been glory.
No, it hasn't.
It's been fucking entertainment.
It's been attacking football, beat anyone on your day by having a go at them, right? It ain't been this. Now, if you look at what happened last season, this season we haven't beaten anybody so far who is, I would say, mid-table or above, right? We haven't. Apart from Brighton. We beat Brighton.
Yeah. And Chelsea was shit when everyone was beating.
That's right. So, sorry. I rescind that statement completely, right?
Everyone was beating Chelsea.
I forgot about those. But if you look at last season, we also had two freak results, right? One was we beat Liverpool 2-0 at home, and one was we beat Man United 1-0 towards the end of the season. They were really the only two outstanding results in the league. Other than that, I was conflating two seasons. All the teams we beat literally last season were the bottom half teams, and especially the ones down the bottom and the promoted teams, right? That's how we stayed up, and that's what he'll do again this year, which is fine to stay up, but you ain't going to progress with it, are you?
I'm hoping I'm kind of coming across right, because I will say for the record, I actually don't mind what style of play we play as long as we play it well. And it's like if we're going to defend, it's defend bloody well.
Listen. I would hate to watch it, but if we were a low block team that were amazing at it, i.e., if you're Diego Simeone and you're winning leagues and you're fucking literally winning shit year after year, then you can't knock it. But to play this way, Luke, for mid-table is Stoke City like? No, it is.
I'm trying to.
But it is.
I feel like I say something.
Sean Dyche is Burnley. That's effectively what you become if that's what you're going to do. Because if you're not going to win the league, you might as well entertain.
But the other side of it is that we've also had players who are grafters like Julian Dix, right? Who just gave 100%. They'd kick lumps out of opposition players. They'd smack balls as hard as they can. They weren't fitness freaks. They were just We've had loads of players over the years that you know, they literally just played for the badge. That's all they did. They weren't technically, they weren't the most brilliant technical players in the world, but they gave and they grafted, and so it's not all about fair plays like your Decaney Ocean, Joe Coles, etc. Players. There are players that we respect as well.
But we've got this as well. Look, so West Ham United history says no disrespect, Gary, but it usually is the teams who stay up that beat the teams below them. Otherwise, but should
that's what I'm saying. We will stay up.
But what I'm saying is, is your bar that low with this team? Is your bar that low that we just need to beat the 3 teams below us so that we don't get relegated?
He's just making my point, though. My point is,
top 10 money.
We won't go down because he will win these games. He did it last year. He's doing it this year, right? That is my point.
I'll be honest with you. We know when we qualified for Europe the first time round, and in the second time, correct me if I'm wrong, right? He made a successful season, whatever you want to call it, out of beating the teams around us, and because I don't actually mind that. To be fair, I do. Lose to Man City is to Chelsea, give it a go. But lose to them, and then go and beat your Aston Villas at home, or your Burnleys at home, your thingies away. Because realistically, if you're going to make a successful team, you've got to beat the teams around you and play well doing it. And that's why I enjoyed that season. A couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, but I'm going to be perfectly honest. What I think the secrets of Moyes' success was when he first came in, and that was basically the way that he plays. So what David Moyes is, he is that disaster recovery manager. So if you've got a team that are all on their asses, they're lazy, they're not pulling their weight in training, their fitness levels, their running stats are down, which we were the bottom of every table when Pellegrini went. You bring David Moyes in, he's a naughty, nasty PE teacher that will get you fit. Yeah. He'll get you fit, he'll get you organised, he'll do all that. He brought in Soucek, who had the running stats, and he was a revelation when he came in. Bowen as well, he was a hard worker. And he worked with the players that he had at the time, and we did really well. We kind of exceeded expectations. But there is, and I think it's become clear now what it was. This fallacy that David Moyes is this defensive manager. His way of defending is just putting loads of bodies behind the ball. That doesn't make you a great defensive manager. I'll tell you what he had. He had an absolute world-class cheat code for a few years in Declan Rice. Now Declan Rice has gone, we are exposed like fuck. We are. Without Declan Rice, there is a serious issue there. We would, for instance, without Declan Rice, we would never have got anywhere near top 6 or top 7. This journey would never have ever happened. No. It wouldn't have, because he used to sit in front of that back four, shield it. He'd done the job of 2 men. He allowed Soucek to just be a passenger and kind of do what he wanted to do. And that is basically what happened. And going back to Luke's point, he's the manager that you bring in to save you from relegation, stabilise you, and then you move on. That's what you do. You have a phase 1 manager and a phase 2 manager. We've just never moved beyond it. So the guy hit his ceiling way too soon. It was never going to get any better than that.
There was a comment on here about how he's got a what did it say? A 47.1% win rate. Well, look. He hasn't got a 47.1% win rate, right? They're taking it in the calendar year and including Conference League games, right? They're saying the calendar year because they've tried to find a set of stats. So they're saying calendar year 2023, the year when we won a cup, and he's factoring in literally every game into that. In the Premier League, it is far less.
He's lost over 50% of his Premier League games since the start of last season.
The first stint with us, he won 28% or so of league games. This time, he's won something like 38%. So if you take the average of those two, he's probably won about 35. It's kind of average, right? It's average.
But then it still goes back to the same argument for me. Like, obviously, we want West Ham to win. Of course we do. But for me, it's not... I can't see it as a result.
It's not just about the result. It's not just about the result.
It's not just about that. So you could have a manager getting 50% win rates, but I want to be entertained. Like, that's what I was brought up on, and that's what I said. That passion. And that's what I can't understand when people go, it's a results-based business. It's also an entertainment business.
I ain't being funny, Mickey, and people do go back to that Tottenham game where they lost against Chelsea and they literally got standing ovation when they went off. And the reason for that was because it was nothing to do with tactics. They was up against it. They was down to 9 men, but the manager showed bollocks. The team showed bollocks, and they just went for it. They tried. They failed, but they went for it. If you do that, you'll watch that team and you will feel proud afterwards in that scenario there. Yeah, you would do. Because they came so close to scoring an equaliser with 9 men to scoring an equaliser, and then that got disallowed. Then they almost scored another one, And then basically they ran out of steam. And what would have happened, Luke, with 9 men at 2-1 down, they're just going to get beat anyway. You ain't going to. You're not going to.
I'm not. It's a personal thing. There's a little light bulb moment. I went, hold on.
David Moyes would have just gone keep it respectable. Right. Don't let him run away with it. That's what he'd have done. But
a lot of this is down to personal preference, because you'll get people as well that'll go, I will take it. And this is fair enough to them, because if they go, look, if he gets us another trophy, we have a cup run, which is all I've. In fairness, since the Allardyce appointment, not talking about Allardyce here, but since that appointment, all I've heard from a lot of fans is that they would take 17th place and the cup run. That is what a lot of fans have said, and I respect that, because it's personal preference. It's what everyone wants. For example, it's like, someone today will go, all I wanted to do was see West Ham win, because West Ham aren't really a winning team.
Yes.
And we won.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience.
And good luck to them, because that's what they want. And if that's what they want, that makes their football day, then fantastic. I personally never thought of a football, a type of football could annoy me so much. I never thought for one moment that I'd be sitting there beating Nottingham Forest 3-2 at home, coming back late in the game.
A style of football, like you said,
we won the game.
One thing that we didn't discuss or mention, and maybe you can tell me to use it to grant, but half time there was a lot of booze.
There was booze. There was
a lot of booze at half time.
I didn't really agree with it totally, because I thought to myself, this we won 1-0. We weren't playing the best football. I didn't think booze were quite.
But do you know what? That is the type of thing that can spur a team on, though. The players on the pitch.
Yeah.
If they get in a reaction like that, because there was a reaction, the players, I think.
I don't think it was towards the players. I think it was towards Moyes. I think it was their way of getting.
I know.
That's what I mean. Is it come to the point where it was just enough? Like, because it was just the way we've been playing, and then people are just getting enough of it now. So then that was their frustration of booing. Because as you said, I've seen worse games where we should have been booing, but we scored
in the 3rd minute, and we looked on top for another 3 or 4 minutes. I think 5 minutes. It got to about the 10th minute, and all we were doing was going forward. We were letting Nottingham Forest cloud us out, and we're passing it back, and it was basically becoming Safal to Zuma to Ed, to Emerson, then all the way back, and then back and forth. And you could hear points. There was, a man said to me, there was people around the ground saying, we need a second goal. And it was only 20 minutes in, going, we need a second goal. Otherwise, Nottingham Forest, they're going to come back and they're going to score. And it was like, it was that sort of thing. You go from that high at the height of the game, at the start of the game, Paqueta's goal, which really was out of nowhere. It wasn't the goal we forced. It was just a mistake from Nottingham Forest that we scored from it. And then you go from that to going, literally having there was no effort on goal after that. It was just pass. And people have this argument that, you want to see 200 passing the game? No, I don't want to see 200 passing the game. I want to see direct.
Which is, again, imagine having a striker. Everyone says about we need a striker, but if you're not giving the striker them chances to put away, what's the fucking point?
No, sorry, I'm busy blocking wankers on Twitter. Sorry.
Oh, they're all on here now, are they?
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of them. One of them wished us both dead, Nick.
I'm staying off of Twitter for a little
while. 1-year-old account. He wished us both dead. God, they're fucking nice, aren't they?
Yeah. Don't they wish me dead? I'm gutted.
No, you're fine.
They will do. That'll come, Micky. That'll come.
I can't wait. That's when I know I've made it.
There's some really lovely people out there behind their keyboards with new accounts and anonymous names, aren't there?
It's Twitter, boys.
I'll tell you what it is. It's probably all coming from a space that's running at the moment on Twitter.
Yeah, I reckon. Is it running? Should we go and join it?
No, God, no. I don't. Fucking. It's like they've been let out for the day.
I'm just going to block the mugs because there are so many of them.
Yeah. No, I'm not leaving Twitter. Don't worry. All it is, I'm ignoring it because I know I'll be getting a lot of shit today. So I'm ignoring it today, and I'll go back to it tomorrow because I can't be bothered with it.
I'm not even on it. I can't stand it. I'm not even on it.
This is football opinion. Why do people go so far? Why do they go so far? Are their little lives so fucking empty that they have to try and make themselves look like the big man on Twitter?
Yeah, and
idiots.
And the funny thing is, they talk about they because I think the comment that I was told, and the reason that I kind of went off a little bit was they said, they must have mental health problems.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, what the fuck is that? What you're seeing there on Twitter?
When you read some of these comments, mate, I think it's no question who's got mental health problems, isn't it?
Honestly, Micky, the obsession is real from that fucking accountant side of things. It's unbelievable. They literally run these Twitter spaces on Claret and Boo. So I'm literally walking around their Twitter space like Conor McGregor. I'm doing that.
Yeah, all that.
Nick lives rent free inside Fever's head underneath the baseball cap.
But yeah, so it is what it is. I personally, I'm staying away from it. I'll never go near them again. So that is what it is. They'll find someone else to focus on at some point. I'm sure they will.
Where's my love, Andy? Where's my love?
They'll find someone else to focus on eventually. Little children.
Yeah, look, they're just nasty and offensive. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind meeting these people face to face one day.
Yeah,
there you go.
They wouldn't say much.
Yeah, but you wouldn't shout because they do fuck all.
I know.
Yeah,
They'd just be like the fucking thing, wouldn't it? You know, what was that thing? Harry Enfield, a few years, when Kathy Burke played his young mate, he used to come here and say, "Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Thank you, Mr. Patterson." That's what it'd be like. That's what it'd be like. Like when Alfie came on here, polite lad. And then he set about fucking slagging everyone off in the chat.
No, I know. But look, it is what it is anyway. Like I say, that's the last time I'm going to mention them now. That's it. That's done.
I'll blame Luke, to be fair.
Yeah. thing is, right, I'm not being funny. We've got people in the chat, you know, you got
sorry, is that an insult? Are you blocking the mugs because Nick don't
block
yours?
No, because you ain't got your mug yet.
No, sorry. I haven't got my fucking mug.
Gary's a bit sensitive at the moment.
Sorry, I'm in a defensive mode because I've just been sorry, Phil. Completely misunderstood it.
Yeah, but no.
It is a cesspit. Yeah,
it is a cesspit. It is absolutely. It's fucking. It basically is. It's a playground for people to hide behind because the majority of them are anonymous accounts. So
they've all got new accounts, like 200 followers. You know, they'll follow each other.
Yeah, but that's because I've blocked. They probably get blocked on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't on it because I think it's a load of little keyboard warriors.
That's what it is.
Mikey's got his mug.
I'm rather, if you're going to row with me, let's have a rat. So I don't like that.
For me, Twitter is the best app. Right, the best app itself, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's a different.
As apps go, yeah.
The whole of Twitter is like this. I'm being funny. You know, it might seem like they're all aimed at you, but I go on Twitter daily, and you can get lost in a thread of someone who's getting targeted. You can just scroll down. It's nothing but people taking the piss out of it and stuff like that. So,
but do you know why they're rearing up and why they're really melting down now, don't you? Because Moyes is going. That's what it is.
He's off,
and he's off. That's what it is.
Daddy, Timmy's his daddy now.
He's gone. They're like a load of little boys with daddy issues. They are, and they see Moyes. They want Moyes to change their nappy, and you know,
Moyes has to call.
Play with their little winkies.
He has to call him daddy. Daddy, can I have a new player in January? No, son, you can't. Nine.
I know, but yeah. So what's this? The geezer on the bottom had some bottles of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think we'll leave it there anyway because I think we've kind of exhausted it all. There's no more calls, so we'll leave it as that.
It was only Gary tonight, wasn't it?
It was only Gary. Yeah, I was kind of expecting that because it's it's one of them games. It was hard to watch. It's hard to talk about.
Do you think people are starting to get a little bit bored of moaning about the situation?
They're bored. I'm bored. It's boring.
Yeah.
The whole situation is boring. It's going to get more boring as the season goes on.
I keep you boys all laugh at me and you'll sound a bit pathetic, right? But I do keep trying to give Moyes chances. I do keep trying to find a positive because I don't like hating on as much as I'm a negative fan when I want to be. I do try and find a positive at times, and it's like when he played 4-4-2 against Brentford, it might not have worked. It might have been the worst thing he could have done, but I thought, you know what, at least he's trying to do something. I know it might have been hands behind, but I was like, do you know what? If he's going to be the manager, I'm going to try and find some positive in this guy because he has won us a trophy. I know you two won't agree with that.
Yeah. No. I agree with you. That's what I want to see. If he tries, we'll give him credit. Like against
absolutely.
There's this part of me. There is this part of me that keeps going. Well, he's a terrible manager to watch and all the rest of it, but he has achieved more than a lot of other managers that have.
Gary.
Sorry. Go on. Put it back up.
That's it. No. I was just saying hello.
Hello, Fortunes. Go on. Is that Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Ryan. Sorry, go on, carry on, Luke. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm fighting over the comments with Nick.
Really, but it's just one of those things. It's not. I do try. I kind of flip flop a little bit where he's concerned because I try and like him.
But that's entirely. Yeah, but that's. There's nothing wrong with that though, because you basically. I mean, look, there is a part of me that kind of resents the way I fucking can't stand the guy, because I think it does affect my ability to enjoy the game sometimes, and that's why when. What I saw against Arsenal, it was completely kind of, it goes against everything. But that was a relief. It was a wonderful relief to see us playing in that way. It was beautiful. I thought it'd mark the start of something new and different, but that weren't the case. So it is what it is. I don't literally, if he all of a sudden changed format completely and started going for games, even if it didn't work, if I saw him being brave and, literally going for games, I would probably while a lot of his followers would probably turn on him, I'd probably start softening on him. That's the crazy thing.
I praised him today for dropping Antonio. I know it's only a small thing. I thought, you know what, fair play, he's dropping Antonio, and I'm starting to think again. Antonio's best position again is going to the wings because he's been playing better there when he's been on there again. But I was like, do you know what, fair play. Like, at some point the players have to take some sort of responsibility because they are on the field and as McAvenny used to apparently said, he's asked, what's the greatest manager influence you've had when you were at West Ham? He goes, I'll be honest with you, most of the time, once you step over the white line, you forget 90% of what they said in the change rooms anyway. So the players have to take some element of responsibility at times.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
But anyway, look, we're late. We're 11:45, and I've got work in the morning. I've got to do the bins at 6:00, right? But it's been a good show tonight. I've enjoyed it. I mean,
Thanks for having me on, boys, by the way.
No, it's been brilliant, Luke. It's been brilliant, Luke.
And available for a YouTube video for once in 2 weeks. They're normally available these days, so there you go.
But we need something. I mean, we struggled with a few months ago before all this stuff about Moyes being replaced, because it gave people Moyes being replaced, like it or hate it, it interested people again, right?
And it gives you
hope. There was something to talk about. There was several weeks where us, Hammers Chat, and all the others, we were regurgitating news, right? I made one show just talking about what the other shows were talking about. Because there was literally no news, and the views just went down. There was nothing there. No one was interested.
Well,
right?
you said that at the start. You actually said at the start of that show, look, listen, there is no news, so I'm going to talk about what everyone else has spoken about this week.
Yeah, I did. It was quite good actually. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, let's. Virgil, no, he's our. I called him earlier. He's our Kurt Zuma. He sort of goes injured quite a lot.
He does. He does. He's Darren Anderton. He's not Darren Anderton.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, before we go on, I'll bring Keith's previous comment up, right? Because Keith is one who's taken quite a bit of abuse over the years. Look, I'm a retired FA ref and a retired copper. I'm no stranger to abuse and hate. Fuck 'em. At my age, it's just nice to be noticed.
Yeah, good man, Keith. I want to get Keith on one day to talk.
Yeah, we should.
He's very knowledgeable.
So he's a copper, and he thought, I know, I need more abuse. I'm going to become an FA ref.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
He loves it, doesn't he? He's glad for punishment.
Yeah.
He's a part-time traffic warden as well. He just like fucking people over.
Voluntary as well.
Yeah. All right, and look, if you've watched this show, if you've enjoyed it today, tomorrow, during the week, please subscribe.
Before I go as well, really sorry, I can't plug the West Ham Network again.
Of course you can. Go on.
I want to say I am part of their thing. I just don't. A week off work this week, so I can find some videos for them. So yeah, it's nice to come on here and do a bit and see you boys and that. But Russ got me excited today with his whole Will Steel thing. So I'm promo on that straight away.
I was going to say, I was wondering where he's going with that.
So if you want to come over and see another channel that's put the polar opposite of this channel at times.
It's
I think.
No, they're not. No, they're a good channel, and they're full of guys. You know what?
Yeah,
they're another. Well, no, because they get Tommy on there as well, and they get you, Luke. You're quite balanced. But Anton and Russ are very much positive and Moyes in. But you know what? Credit to them. They never alter.
They never deviate. They never deviate.
They don't flip flop. Even when they're under pressure, they don't do it. They don't do it. So
with them, their views and points, he's actually
they get a lot of shit for it as well.
But it is though, they make quite a fair point. Like
but they do. You've only got to look in their chat and in their comments. like I get a lot of shit, they get a lot of shit as well, because that's what happens when you kind of stick to your guns and things ain't going a certain way. They'll get abuse for it, and they do.
Shed warming party.
Yeah, I've said some things to Anton before, like on the chat.
188 days and 10 minutes.
He's really Moyes in, isn't he, Anton? So I've said a few things.
Yeah.
Not horribly. It's just that sort of.
Oh no, because it winds you up. You just literally like, when you don't hear it.
I don't mind. Look, when people are genuine,
they are genuine.
You got to realise that it's only opinions. It's only opinions. We give our opinions. They give their opinions. Everyone's entitled to an opinion, funny enough. And if we piss you off, they can always start their own channel, but they won't because they're faceless. Right.
I'm going to recommend something. If anyone needs a good laugh or something to give them a smile on their face, if you go and watch the West Ham Arsenal watch along, right? Yeah. The latest game we played and beat them, right? Anton. I've never known anyone to celebrate goals like he does. Even if it's like 1-0 away thingy, right? A small non-league team, the FA Cup. Scoring a goal for Anton is like he's had sex for the first time.
He loves his West Ham. He loves West Ham.
The goal, I think when Kudus scores a second goal against Arsenal, go 2-0 up. The guy, I love it because he's just in awe. His soul leaves his body for a second.
He's jumping up and down, and do you know what? I can only imagine the tremors that he sends through his house when he's jumping up, because he's a big guy.
He can't jump up either. He's like Harry Potter under the cupboard. He can't he sort of has to go like that. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's fantastic.
I don't know if Ryan from Oz is still on, but
he is. Yeah,
well, like New Year's Eve, will Moyes get fired in Australia earlier than over here?
Well, if he does, don't tell us, right?
Don't ruin the news. Don't ruin the news. Do you know? I actually have got. I've got a lovely Cuban cigar ready for the moment when he does go. Yeah, I am.
Listen,
I have a nice whiskey. Cigar.
Listen, a 5-a-side game against E20? No. I'm honestly.
Your football career is over, isn't it?
My football career is over, but at the same time, I wouldn't give them my time. I wouldn't give them my fucking time.
No. At our ages, their fucking knees ago. Like, they're all spring chickens.
I'll tell you what I'll do. Blocked by Moschino.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll pick my under 15s against them. I'll pick the nastiest under 15 kids that I've got, just to fucking go through them, 2-foot them. So go on, Harry, off you go.
Nick, you say you got a cigar waiting now. I've got like an Iron Bubra, Agus and that. I'm having it.
Yeah.
I've got my kilt ready.
But no, look, it is good, and thank you everyone for continuing to support us as well. It does mean a lot to us. It is good, and it's ups and downs. I think you got to learn, Gary, with stuff like this with Twitter anyway. I'm not going to go near it for probably a day or two.
I barely use Twitter now. Every now and then I put a comment on there, and I get so much abuse that I block about 10 people.
I'll be honest with you. I'm probably quite guilty now, because ever since I was kind of, you could say, I buckled and I left. Since I've come back, the reason I've come back is because I won't be forced off. So I'm refusing. And I must admit, I probably am trolling a little bit.
It's a crap platform now, Nick. It's a crap platform. It's gone downhill.
But I probably am using it for the wrong thing.
There was a time years ago when that was my go-to. I used Twitter all the time. I loved it. It was brilliant. Now it's just a cesspit. It really is.
And for any of you keyboard warriors, just a reminder, I'm not on Twitter, so please subscribe to the channel and then wish me dead that way, please.
Micky wants his first death for it.
He feels left out. Yeah. He feels left out.
Make sure you subscribe if you're going to do it.
Drop a like before you leave, wankers.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So look, we'll get a countdown clock. Yes, we will. But that's it. That's it. Yeah, that's us done. We'll work on that. 188 days tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Gonna have a countdown clock on every single show from now on. Yes, we will. Right. Yes. But thank you all for your attention. Look, we're nearly 3 hours. Fucking hell. We do this every Sunday night. So now I'm going to get no sleep because I'm going to be wired. I'm going to try and go to sleep. Right. Ain't going to manage
Twitter
it.
Off.
2 o'clock in the morning. No, I ain't going to Twitter now. It's a load of crap. Yeah. But yeah, look, good show. Average game. We won though. We won. That's all that matters. Yeah. So enjoy the international break. Meanwhile, I mean, we ain't gonna. I don't know if we're gonna have anything to do rambles about this week, but we'll try. If there is something to talk about.
I'll put a few shows out. I'm gonna do one with Micky.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna do a two-man show with Micky.
Double headers.
Figure out what we're going to talk about.
Double headers are actually quite good fun. They're quite good. They're quite good.
But you've got to get creative because there's no football.
Yeah, and I don't. England just don't inspire me. Is Ward Prowse in the squad?
No.
Has it been pictured?
Of course he ain't.
No. He's
English. Soucek English Moyes.
Yeah. Anyway, think of the bins, Gary. Exactly. Think of those bins. All right. So until next time, see you soon. Come on, you ones.
You ones.